Hello and welcome back to Outside the Box, an MLS podcast. We are here with our prediction show. We are joined by Jeremy Peterman.
Hello.
We are joined by Joss Bathtub.
Look at me. I'm like Messi right now. Whoa. I'm like matching him in the picture. Whoa.
You only get that if you're watching on YouTube, but also joining us is Daniel Schill.
We are back, boys. It's good to be back.
We're starting it, fellas. We are going to go from the bottom-ranked team according to our predictions. So I've averaged out everybody here. So we have some teams tied for 14, some teams tied for 11th. That's just how it goes. But overall, these are kind of how we see the league shaking out. We're going to start at the bottom, fellas, the team that everyone loves, CF Montreal. Now, pick any reason why this team might finish last, right? But I'm gonna go to Jeremy, man. What about Montreal, man? Why can't they not be higher than our last in the East, man?
Oh, boy. Joey, once again, the invitation is open. We will come in and turn this team into a powerhouse. And the reason why is because you cannot build this team correctly. You rely on good coaches to get the best out of whatever players they have. Marco Donadell, I don't think he's that coach. And I'm not convinced by the offseason additions. You had to get Thomas Aviles, really? But was that like number one on the shopping list? But that's not even the worst one. The worst one is trading Jaquil Marshall-Ruddy for Wiki Carmona. So
Wiki.
Yeah, you're just trying to build a plane out of guys. I like a couple of players on your team. I really think Hennedy Sinchuk's going to have a relatively decent year considering, I guess, whatever he can bring to the table while this team is stuck flapping at balls in their own box, trying to keep all the goals out. Yeah, the East is so loaded, and this is like the free space on the bingo card for every team Montreal is going to be this year. Joey, it doesn't have to be like this. It really doesn't.
Anyone want to rush to Montreal's defense here? Because I definitely have some Montreal prop, but
Does that prop begin and end with Prince Owusu?
exactly. I love
that
Owusu. I mean, I've been Jaime as well.
13 goals last year, I think, for Prince Owusu. 17 in all comps. So not a bad return at all for the guy. But they also sold Dante Seeley. He's now a Rapid.
That he is.
And I feel like there is a shit race to the bottom between DC and Montreal and in the East. And with that, I'm also not convinced on Montreal. I have them picked to finish bottom as well. There's just the vibes are bad. Thomas Aviles does not fix anything for this team. The only thing it actually does improve is the amount of penalties that they will concede, because last year Montreal conceded 0 penalties. And so they brought in Thomas Aviles to increase that number, I'm assuming.
They were that bad without giving away a single spot kick. That's impressive.
Man, it's tough because it's also the first 6 games on the road, man. That's just such a lot to really try and claw yourself back from. I think when they sacked their coach last year, I was, hoping that he'd at least see the home game out. But, as long as that first, spell on the road, which maybe we can pick them as early sprint season winners. But another team rounding them out here at the bottom we have Montreal in 14th, also in 14th on a collective average is Kansas City. Joss, you were like in our chat trying to justify earlier how you'd make them a playoff team, like how you would rationalize them as a playoff team. Are you just? Is it not there, man?
It's not there right now. It's not there right now, but the window's still open. I just don't think that the roster is completed yet, and that's what we're going off of is the current roster. The current roster is worse than last year's roster, so this Sporting KC team will be worse than last year's Sporting KC team. That is logical.
I don't
Unfortunately, that level of worse from last year is 15th. So unless we add a new place, 16th, this SKC team can't actually get much worse than last year. But the players, I mean, it's largely the same roster. Obviously, we've added Calvin Harris when I mentioned the summer. We've added a few MLS free agents like Wyatt Meyer from Nashville. And I think the rumor is Bartlow will get a contract as well. Not the Red Bulls Bartlow. Or where's he at now? I don't know, but different Bartlow.
Cincinnati.
Yeah, Cincinnati. Different Bartlow will get a contract. So there's still signings to come in, but as for right now, I'm not very sold on the team. I'm not really sold on the job that David Lee's done. I'm not sure what to think about Wiki. It's been a while since I've seen his style of play. Not a big Swiss League fan, obviously, but I'm not sold on it. I think 14th.
Daniel, you have them. You have them at 14th as well. Just straight out. Why 14th for SKC? Like,
Because I don't know who is going to be like legitimately their start. Like I don't know who their starters are going to be at this point. I don't even think Joss knows all but like 4 positions who's going to be starting on this team come like summer transfer window. That's how short on rosters positions that they are. The only upside that I have for this Sporting Kansas City team is I think competition breeds excellence, and I think with all the competition they're going to have a goalkeeper. I would expect that we can see some heroics today, or not today, this year from Pulse Camp.
Yeah, I mean, I think they just shaved a lot of the fat off of last season, so they've kept a lot of the good from last year. You know what I mean? Like, Joveljic is still someone to rally behind, and there's a whole other summer that they could go and get Cristiano Ronaldo or something. But I mean, I have them as high as 12, just based off the roster stuff. So maybe it's not really worth deliberating on too much here, but I'm hoping that we're wrong just for Joss's sake. Because then,
please, bro, please. I don't want the most meaningful soccer in Kansas City to be World Cup games, bro. Please, God.
Are they sitting on a lot of GAM? Do you guys know?
I think they're in the 2 mil region, maybe like a high 1 mil region.
Should make this somewhat interesting.
It's like a decent amount. We haven't paid for anybody, so I'd imagine.
Stefan Cleveland.
True. Truth nuke, dude. 1 of 4 goalkeepers on the roster. Sure. Wiki ball is magic.
Hey, maybe they're gonna play him at striker, bro. You never know.
That's where only good players are. Is Dejan Joveljic, dude.
It's gonna be like those EAFC cards where you have goalkeepers playing striker.
Yeah, that's
yeah, goalkeeper with finesse plus.
That's Cleveland, bro. Let's move on though, fellas, because our last team rounding out in the 14th spot here, all towards the collective bottom. I'm gonna go to Jeremy because in last week's show, you really wanted the author to write this into existence. You wanted the author of the DC playoff run, but they're our 3rd team in 14th, guys. Not much faith in Urquhart. So good, Jeremy. Why? What? How did you do your homework? Did you feel like after looking them up, maybe it is not worth trying to force them into 9th?
I tried so hard, but I do think that at the very least they're not going to win the spoon. At the very, very least. And the reason why is Sean Johnson. I think they can go and add hopefully another center back, even though I think the addition of Sean Nealis is pretty smart. They're really missing another defensive midfielder. However, I heard that Peltola was actually better towards the end of last year. I didn't watch it. I can't confirm that. Why did I watch DC last year? Why would anybody watch DC last year?
Because Bossman Juanners told us so.
That is true.
That would be.
But the one thing I am thinking about that's going to be their saving grace is Renee Weiler's going to want them to just press like demons. And at the very least, they can disorganize probably a couple teams, pick up a couple goals between Montano and Baribo. So there are games on their schedule that are going to be winnable. I think they'll do enough to avoid the absolute basement of the East. But once again, I mean, I want them to be so good. I really want DC to be good. Like that's like the next step, right? Like the Chicago Fire finally made it back to the playoffs. They are the vibiest team in the league last year. I think that once DC can finally get their shit together, then this league is fully back.
I'm inclined to agree. They're also picking up MLS guys to do it. The Sean Johnson, the Ty Baribo. They're picking up guys that know the league and could bring us fully back. You know, I wouldn't want it to happen with a bunch of guys that don't understand what it's like to play in Houston in the summer, you know?
Yes.
See, I've had them as high as I have them highest than all of us, so I definitely don't think they're spoon. I have them at 12th, right? But the more I feel like maybe that may have been a misstep. I don't know. I just don't get. I mean, outside of I guess Baribo, like I like, did they go get more guys like that press? Like, do we know if Keisuke Kurikawa is gonna be that dog? You know, like there's still like some unknowns there. What do you guys think?
I think we won't know who they are. So they start off the game like really rough, like the year. Like they got Nashville, Red Bull, Dynamo, Cincinnati, and then they go to New England, Montreal. They go to St. Louis. Hold on, I'm looking at the wrong team. Ignore me. Holy
I missed it, bro.
brother.
Here, we'll
Whoa.
use this. We'll use this. Unless it's woke nonsense. Does DC fall here?
No, they play. They start their
Slightly
season
easier.
with Philly, Austin, Inter Miami, Chicago.
Yeah, that's rough.
But then they have Atlanta United, FC Dallas, New England. Like, I think we'll know who they are in that stretch.
Okay.
They're beating Austin, though. I know that.
I think they low key could do something to Philly. Am I crazy for saying that?
Philly just does something to them on a regular basis, and it's never pretty. In fact, some might call it criminal.
For real though, never take
I'll talk
DC
more about
against Philly, dude.
I'll talk more about Philly when we get there.
Any other thoughts on DC, or do we want to move on to our 13th place team? Let's move on, fellas. New England Revolution. They are. I have them at 15th. I have them as bottom of the East, mostly because I can't help but feel that this is, this was. Porter was cooking a little bit, guys, towards the end of the season. I'm sorry, but there was, especially if he had Dort Turgeman, I understand that eventually you have to sacrifice the coach for the vibes. You know what I mean? Because there was not good vibes, despite seeing New England playing, I would say, okay. Kind of like, Toronto drew their entire season last year. You get to a stretch where it's like, yeah, this team's way out, but how can they stabilize? And I thought they at least stabilized. Now you sack Porter, and now I don't know. I can't see how this team doesn't cash for Gill, and then the bottom falls out completely from them. Because someone's got to come for Gill, dude. Save Carlos Gill. That's all I will say. How are y'all feeling about New England? Jeremy, you got them almost at a playoff spot.
I do. This is why I'm so confident in New England, and it's mostly because I like their spine. I like Matt Turner. I like Fofana and Ceballos in year 2. I like Feingold. I like Eric Miller. Peyton Miller. So
He also
I
likes Eric Miller.
I might be the biggest Al Hassan Yusuf fan in the entire league. The question is, where do the goals come from? You're asking a lot out of Griffin Yao, but also I kind of am a Turgles believer as well. So I think that this team is going to be better than a lot of people think. Marko Mitrovic likes the 4-3-3. I love the 4-3-3. And I can see this team being competitive in the majority of their games. And at that point, if you're competitive in the majority of your games, the number one thing that's going to determine how high or low you get on the table is finishing variance. And Leo Campana had a really unlucky year last year when it came to putting the ball in the back of the net. Turgles did a pretty good job of doing so when he came into the league. So I like the striker core, so that's a plus for the finishing. I don't know. I feel like this team's going to be better than a lot of people think, but it's kind of like a San Diego Light where they got a former U.S. men's national team youth coach and started getting a bunch of those guys in. I don't know. I think you can build the plane out of that, but I don't think it's playoff quality right now because the East is just so good.
I mean, it's one thing to outperform everybody in the West, right? But I think there's just other teams with far more like winnable, game changers. You know what I mean? And I hope Dora Turgeman is that. But I just man, I may have underrated them here, honestly, because now I. Do we think a new hire in Mitrovic could do it more so than what Weiler has shown under that, extreme heavy press? Maybe. I think I'm going to look back on this one as my worst pick, fellas.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go for it.
I am never a proponent for national team coaches at any level to become club coaches. I just don't think it works. I just don't think it works as well, and I think that we're going to get another example here. I mean, think of the most elite international coaches.
BJ Callahan.
Good were they? Besides BJ Callahan. I'm thinking just like in world soccer, the most elite national team coaches were never very good club coaches. Yogi Low, Didier Deschamps. I mean, Thomas Tuchel is an outlier, but Gareth Southgate, all these guys that did not have the most illustrious coaching club career. I just don't think it translates nearly as well as people think it does. And for that reason, I mean, Tab Ramos at the Dynamo is another example, right? So for that reason, I'm out on the Revs.
Damn. See, because I'm willing to say it's easy to say they're not going to make the playoffs, but then I have them at spoon territory is the thing. I just don't know if maybe they are the spoon. But Daniel, you got any thoughts on them?
Can you get more than 15 goal contributions from Campagna? If they can do that and keep Gill, then they can be a playoff contender.
15?
Yeah, that's goals and assists. So he needs 10 goals, 5 assists.
Yeah, like 9 and 6.
That's how unproductive he's been for 3 years now.
Don't
And he has
put
an
that
excuse
evil
at
on me.
Miami.
Now
He
I
had
have
an
to
excuse
think
at
about
Miami.
I think that's a good point, Daniel. I do think that's a good point. And can you where is Carlos Hill going to be?
I mean, he's in New England.
I mean, in New England, but where is he going to be at on the mentally on the field? How is he going to perform? I mean, this guy is what he's almost Juanners' age.
Was he 34?
I think he might be 36, low key.
Dang,
Whose age?
What's up?
That's crazy. A squad like that, dude. I just had to process that. I was like, all right. That's crazy. All right. That's a perfect segue, guys, because now we get to talk about my team. Colorado Rapids averaged out to 12th in the West for us. with mine coming at the highest 11th. Now, I really want to believe in the team. I am very much looking forward to covering them throughout the season. But until we see, until we see an off season where our best player doesn't leave and then the season, goes down in midway because, someone played themselves into World Cup, not that I don't think, maybe Zach Steffen goes to the World Cup. I don't know. But, World Cup season comes around. That's when summer happens. And the Rapids have been known to sell their best players in the summer. So I'm hoping that, amidst this rebuild, which it is another rebuild, we get to see some interesting tactics from the Rapids. But until I'm thinking Hoffa might go in the summer. Like that's something that, is in, it's always swirling around here, and so I'd like to field it to you guys. How are y'all feeling about Colorado? I'll open it to any one of y'all.
I think Paxton Aronson is going to be really good this year. I was super high on him when he was in Europe.
Yeah, the one thing I will give the USMNT stands on Twitter credit for is their assessment of Paxton Aronson playing more as an 8 than as a 10. Mm-hmm. Now, it looks like he is going to be playing as a 10 for the Rapids in a 4-2-3-1. We'll see how that evolves. I mean, again, formations are whatever, right? He could drop down and be a focal point there. But one thing that they mentioned in the press conference was it's more of this, like, there's not one individual guy. It's the team as a star. Paxton Aronson couldn't care less if he scored a goal if it meant the team won. But I'm thinking, well, maybe he should care a little bit if he scores. You know what I mean? Like that's all I could think about in the presser there. Because I want these players to actually, as Matt Wells described it, believe in their star ability and the team is a star. All this great culture stuff that on paper it sounds good, and then they go out and play, and the bottom could fall out, and the team is clamoring for someone to take over the game. I just don't know if Colorado has that right now.
Well, I have good news for you, Juanners. We might have all rated them outside of the playoffs. And alphabetical order aside, if I pull up the Western Conference standings right now, you guys are number 2.
Every year, dude. Every year. It used to be 1 until a certain green team joined the league. But
Juan, did you say team is the star?
Yes.
Is that not an RSL saying?
That's like a colloquial soccer saying, dude. It goes everywhere, dude. Is it though?
I've only heard it from RSL, bro.
See, that's what someone that would go to RSL games would say.
Chill on me, bro. Chill on me. Chill on me, bro. Chill on me.
Let's move on, fellas. Let's go to San Jose Earthquakes. And I think now we're starting to see a little bit of a little split in the OTB crew when it comes to, how we're rating these. Joss, you have them as a playoff team.
I do.
Tell us about them. You have them in 9th, while Daniel has them in 11th, Jeremy in 11th, and I got them in 14th.
Listen, the San Jose Earthquakes are a cornerstone team of this league. For better, for worse, I think that they are a heritage team. Okay, and they have the best coach, one of the best coaches in MLS history at the helm. Still, Bruce Arena. How old
is he?
How old is Bruce Arena?
Yes.
How old is Bruce Arena? I don't know. How old is he?
I mean, when did Jesus die? I think that's when he.
Bruce Arena age. This is live. 74? Good God, man. Good Lord. I didn't know it was like that. He's almost Juanners' age.
Oh my God. That's crazy.
I'm sorry, bro. I'm sorry. That came out of nowhere. Now look, I think that the Quakes, there's a lot in the air right now, especially with their handling of Christian Espinosa's contract. But I do think that defensively they stand to be better. I think that, if Daniel doesn't get, not our Daniel, our lovely Daniel, but if their goalkeeper doesn't get another long-term injury, then I think that we can expect to see their defense stand strong. I think they got rid of a lot of some of the dead weight around the club as well. Chicho Arango's gone. Josef Martinez is gone. But I think that those are all very logical roster moves to make so they can bring in one Timo Werner. Now, I am on record as not believing that Timo Werner has been very good for the past few years. However, Timo Werner's never been an elite finisher. However, what he has been is when he was in the elite, it was because there were a lot of chances being created for him. I think that this San Jose team, with the personnel that they have and also the space that I think that Timo Werner will be afforded to run in behind MLS defenses, I think that we will see him actually perform decently well. I could see him having at least 10 goals, I think, this year.
Timo Werner?
Yeah.
At least 10 goals?
I think he could have at least 10. You think he could have more?
That's the bar?
I think so.
Oh,
he hasn't been very good for a little bit. I mean, I'm going to start him off here.
Thomas Tuchel ruined my boy.
Dude, true.
Like,
maybe he just needs to change the scenery.
I've been saying Timo Werner needs to come to the MLS for years now, because people forget how good he was in 2018, 2019, 2020 when he was scoring 35 to 45 goals a year across all competitions. He was one of my favorite players of all time. People were comparing him as a talent to Erling Haaland. And then he went to Chelsea and ruined his career. I just can't rate him highly because of Christian Espinosa. That just feels like he was such a centerpiece to that team. I don't know. It just feels weird rating him high. I do like your take, Joss.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Also, I only have him finishing 9th. It's not like I have him finishing 4th. Let's be very clear here. They are
Wait a minute.
They are a Timbers last year kind of level team.
See, I don't know. I just look at the supporting cast and I there's not somebody else. It'd be one thing if you lost. It'd be one thing if Arango was still on the squad, right? Because then, okay, you could play as a 10. You got some flexibility there. But even without Arango, it's like, oh, dang, like they got nobody else. Like right now, the next 10 up is Nico Sakiris. And I love that player. I hope he can stuff this down, like the 14, wrong, right? Like if he pops off and has a breakout year, I'm all for it, because then that means San Jose are cooking, right? But he's still a big question mark. You know what I mean? Like it's still. I mean, there's a lot of these players that are like, I really like DeJuan Jones, but. Ronaldo Vieira, like, are we, he came in last season. Are we really sure he's like that dude? You know what I mean? Like Jeremy said Al Hassan Yusuf, and I immediately regretted my New England pick at 15th because I was like, oh yeah, they have him. But Ronaldo Vieira, I'm like, that doesn't change. I don't know where I see him, just towards the bottom of the West. And I think the Caleb Porter clapback extends into Bruce Arena as well. Like all the sins of the New England, because Bruce did that too. He completely changed the squad, and now it's his squad, right? So maybe we see him out of a 4-3-1-2. That's what I'm kind of maybe thinking. New England light, but still, it's like you don't have a Carlos Gale on this team.
No, but you have Preston Judd. You have Preston Judd.
Okay, but there was no mention of him. You know what I mean?
I shouldn't have to.
Okay. I mean,
we all know.
I like Preston Judd as well, to be fair, but
no,
it's just.
I just think that the West is really, really poor this year, and for me, I feel like the Quakes, despite it all, I think that they will have enough on decision day to be in that last playoff spot.
Anyone else want to chime in before we move on? Because I think
I'm
there's
going to change my pick. San Jose playoff team. Joss got me in. I'm hooked.
Hell yeah!
Dang.
No, that's fine, because there's one team I have. there's one team I have worse than San Jose, guys. It is Real Salt Lake.
Tough.
Tough as hell, fellas.
Now, hold on. Is this just you being a hater, or is this you saying Diego Luna is getting sold after the World Cup and they cannot replace him?
Yeah, I'll just say that.
Okay, understandable.
I mean, Joss has him in 7th, and he tried to pull the team as the star on me here, dude. Bro, the team is gonna chase a star with them in 7th, bro. What is that?
Bro,
They don't even have a wild card.
No, dude. RSL have continuously been up against it for the past few years. I mean, you think about their transfer window last year. Their marquee signings were Willie Agata and Johnny Russell. Okay,
That's
Their own
you.
fault.
That's you. I went to the RSL store and they said they knew you, dude.
they said they were. They said the team is the star, bro. Team is the star. TITS. Tits. Anyway, what I'm saying here is that Pablo Mastrioni needs some respect. Okay, and I'm giving him my respect and my predictions because he has continuously overperformed despite expectations, and I'm tired of the disrespect. I think RSL have, and they went out and they got Gilavogi from Lons, like the top team in Liga.
Was it playing though?
No, but dude, just being in the locker room of the top team in Liga, like that's a major signing. I don't care for RSL, that's a major signing.
The guy before them was in a Porto locker room, bro.
Porto, bro.
Yeah,
2026,
dude. Like Porto isn't more like prestigious than these French Ligue 1 clubs. This is the first time Lens has even got to this point, bro. Come
you know
on.
who's on Lons right now, bro? Florian Thauvin. Don't tell me you don't know that name. Don't tell me you
Talking
don't.
about Porto,
know
like Inter
Florian.
Miami didn't beat them.
True.
Well,
nuke,
for sure,
bro.
dude.
Truth nuke.
But then behind them, I mean, like Rowan Cruz, like these are, I guess not him, but
No,
I
they
just
got
not
rid
falling
of
for the French stuff because the most productive that Morgan has been with Paris FC in League 2, right? And I just can't help but shudder. This is their Cabral. Like this is their Kevin Cabral. That is my cope for RSL, and I hope that he misses every chance he gets. And in fact, there's like I'm gonna go find ways to put a curse on this to happen, bro, because they need to experience Kevin Cabral.
Dude, you can pay for a witch to curse them for you online now. It's a thing. Joss got a guy. He got you.
I do.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
But beyond that,
I'm rocking with RSL. I'm rocking with Mastrioni. I think that they are a well-run club, and I can say that now because we have a new team in the league that SKC are rivals for. So I can say I respect RSL.
I think the realignment though, they might not. I think they cut that one.
Don't tell me.
When they go to divisions.
Don't tell me, bro.
Well, now you get Chicago, right? Wasn't that the one?
Yeah, now we get Chicago, Minnesota.
It's way better than
STL.
having to go
Yeah,
to
those
Utah,
are-
bro. Trust me.
Yeah,
Your
dude.
away days.
You don't want to
Yeah.
see this dude wants to be in the RSL store, dude. But
I want to be at America First Field. Take me to America First Field, bro.
Will Higata, Russell, RSL legends. Jeremy, Daniel, you guys want to chime in on some RSL because y'all both of them have just outside the playoffs, so not as bad as me, but maybe not as confident as Joss.
I mean, I do think Pablo Macaroni is a pretty good coach, but at the same time, like I question the way
I'm
they're
gonna
building
kill
this
you, bro.
roster. please, at least let me finish this.
Okay.
So I question why there are 3 starting quality left backs. Like, you really think that you start with Catranis? He's already on the team. He's good, right? He's good. You even Juanners can admit that Alexander Catranis is a good player. Then you go get Lucas Engel, who
Center back.
could play who could play left back but could also play left-sided center back in a back three, which it seems like this might be where RSL's going this year. And then you go out and get Juan Manuel Sanabria, who I saw in person last year and didn't really move the needle for me. So you have three of the best players on this team being left backs for whatever reason. The best striker on this team is still Olatunji, who will be good. I think he will be good, but there's no one behind him in case he gets hurt, and he's a big boy. He's going to have to take a lot of punishment. I'm not too bought in on Gilavogi either, but at the same time, I think at the very minimum, he'll be a little bit better than Diogo Gonçalves. But all in all, I still don't see that as a playoff team. And there is a serious hole in their midfield now that Brian Ojeda is gone. So Pablo Macaroni has a lot to he has a lot to basically do to elevate this team, because I don't see them being greater than the sum of their parts, and the sum of their parts still isn't very good.
Can I say one more thing too? Gozo is
Yes.
going to be knockout this year. Gozo is going to be much must-watch soccer for RSL.
And then they will sell him in the summer.
But for those 4 games before the World Cup break, I'm tuning in.
Dude, you trying to put the RSL stuff on me, dude? Look at you.
Bro.
Gozo.
You don't think Gozo's him?
Of course not, bro. It's an RSL player.
You're not a Gozo bozo?
I mean, if you want to see how much
You're
I
a
valued
Gozo.
Gozo, you could
You're
go
not
see.
You're not in the Gozo go zone?
There's a one place where you can.
Oh my God, he froze.
He froze.
Don't worry, he's got another thing he's about to say about Pablo Minestrone. So
See, oh my God, I was just about to say something, and then my internet collapsed a little bit. So maybe it's best I don't say the RSL piece here. I just got saved. I was just about to do some Gozo prop, but
wait, Juanners, I do have one question. Is this the year that they fire Pablo Minestrone?
man, I
What is with the Mascheroni slander?
I know, that's what I'm saying, bro.
Like when I was doing my Coach of the Year picks, it was like he was like right up there for me.
Stop
He's
it.
got a funny name. I can't believe we haven't done that yet.
Pablo,
It's
My
a-
Little
it's just a
Pony.
pretty good name.
Oh, My Little Pony.
Man, let's move on, fellas. We're going to another team that we can just hate watch for another member on this cast, and it is the one, the only, still in 11th. So a lot of these teams, very much not a playoff team, but could be. It's tough how those points shake out. But we got St. Louis City, all in the 11th, sharing with Salt Lake, San Jose, and then one more 11th team. But Joss, you're the resident hater, but Daniel's got him lower than you. Daniel's got him in 15th in the West, but you have him in 12th. Is this 12 through 15 don't matter? And if so, why don't they just get 15 for hater points?
Because I think SKC are worse.
Okay.
And I'll put my hands up and say I'm not proud to say it. I'm not proud to say it.
We need the STL to clip this, bro.
I
Come
think
on.
STL has more established. I don't know. I think I've really liked their business going out and getting the other fall at center back. I think is a really nice pickup. I think also finally getting rid of Joao Klaus, because he was pretty useless near the end there, is also a pretty good roster move. It was good for me. I was happy he was useless, but I'll admit that I think that a few of STL's players are a bit of a ballers. I really like watching Celio Pompeu and Edward Leuven. I think with a full year of hopefully healthy Edward Leuven, St. Louis will be better than they were, or they'll be better than we were last year. And I think that they're better than the teams that I put above them or below them, clearly. So I think the business they've done is really good. And I think they have a few ballers who maybe with this new coach coming in from Columbus, right? Yeah. He was a Nazi assistant, wasn't he?
Yohan
He
Demay.
was.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. So maybe Nazi ball will be they can unlock it. Now, it is still funny that Roman Bsky is a DP for them. That is still funny. It's a bad roster move, and I will not let them forget it because they're spending a lot of money on a goalkeeper. But I just think overall, I think their squad is decent for 12th.
Jeremy's got him decent for 7th. He is the May-pilled, bro.
Not so much the May-pilled. I'm Corey Ray-pilled.
Okay, tell us about it then.
All of these offseason moves have been floor raising. And the problem with St. Louis last year, at least under Olaf Melberg, was all they cared about was floor. As in, let's just defend and not score goals. Now, with Demay coming in and probably putting more of a focus of using the ball into the team, you've gone out and gotten the aforementioned Mamadou Mbake Fall, whichever one they're going to call him to differentiate him from the other excellent center back named Fall, as in Falou Fall. So I think that's a really good move. I am very angry that they have Daniel Edelman. Like, not just from it's a St. Louis has him and I don't like St. Louis. Like, Timbers, please. Like, he would have been perfect. I'm also a little bit high on Dante Polvara. I think he can do a job for them at defensive midfield, and they also still have Chris Durkin, who's done a pretty good job for them. Hartel, despite what I think about the way he celebrates, which is really stupid, the best attacker on this team. And if you put Leuven in kind of a midfield orchestrator role, not like in a final third orchestrator, because that's what Hartel should be doing that. This team's floor is a lot higher. A lot of the West is very mid. 7th place is like, wow, that looks really good, because like seven's just a very pretty number in general. But like, you can still be 7th and still be mid, but you can be just good enough defensively to get higher than the wild card spots, and that's where I think St. Louis ends.
See, I'm not sold on them as much. I have them in 9th. Daniel's certainly not sold at all.
No, sir. Not falling for that shit again. No, sir.
See, my thing is, St. Louis is the type of team that'll reconfigure in the summer, and they have an easy schedule after the summer. So I think if they get a striker, I mean, they have 6 months to figure it out with Toiker. And if not, I could see them being the team that goes out and gets a striker in the league. You know what I mean? Or finds another guy abroad. But either way, I think they do something about the striker position come the summer, and that catapults them into the playoffs for me. But Daniel, you're thinking it's just not there for them.
No, they haven't really done enough to really move the needle for me. And quite frankly, it's kind of like remember when you were a kid and you ate something that made you real sick and you were like, oh shit, I'm never gonna eat that again for the rest of my life. That's St. Louis for me. I just don't trust them anymore. I don't like their style of play. I liked Toiker. I liked Hartel when they first came into the league, and guys like Hani Mukhtar gave me like hope that those kind of players would work out here because they were overperforming in that league, and this would be like a nice step up for them, and it just didn't work out. I do think there is something to be said though about having these DP guys on cheaper contracts. It makes cutting ties with them a lot easier, like you just mentioned. It allows you to move on. So we'll see if that's something they end up doing. But I'm not overly sold on them this year, and 12 through 15 are just a wash for me.
You guys ready to move on? Anyone else have any St. Louis takes, or should we go to our final 11th place team? Because it's not in the West. We spent 3 of the last 11th place teams talking about the West. That's how tough it is. As we start to climb, I think it's going to get a lot harder to figure out where these teams are. But next up in Next up in 11th is Atlanta United. With some of us, this one's interesting because Daniel's got him in 14th, so at least he's consistent when he says when he tries something the first time, man, he's not going to try it again. Jeremy's also not falling for it, but me and Joss are from first. I go to 9th, and then Joss goes to 8th. But what a turnaround! Where should we start, fellas? Do we want to finish on a Atlanta hype? Daniel, 14.
Yeah. I'll just go first. I think the problems were beyond Gaffer Ronnie. I don't believe I don't believe that they've done enough this offseason to not be the same team next year. I mean, oh boy, where is Alexei Marinchuk going? Like, where is he going to play? Being honest, like, asking the panel, like, where is he going to play? Because they couldn't figure it out last year. Oh, I just don't like talking about this team. They sold me so hard last year. I'm not falling for it again. There's no way.
Well, I feel like because they are the most likely to play the most horrid of ball out of all these teams here in the East. But also, I can't help but feel that I got that Tata belief, bro. Tata Martino knows how to manage personalities, and when you have Miguel Almiron, Latte Lath, and Maranchuk, I feel like he's gonna find a way to make them all coexist. I believe in the Tata magic here, honestly, and it may bite me again, because they went back to Miggy for the nostalgia. So maybe I am being nostalgia baited, but if I fall for this bait, then I don't know what other kind of bait is out there. Like, man, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe DC. You know what I mean? Like, would I rather believe in the author or would I rather believe in Tata Martino? Come on, guys, Tata Martino every time. But Jeremy, you got him in 11th.
Bear with me. I think I'm cooking here. You don't want to get hoodwinked by Atlanta again. I get that. They didn't embarrass like just us. They embarrassed everyone who at least covers this league last year. So I understand the feeling of annoyance towards them. But when I'm looking at this team, this is Unk Central, more so than any other team that is competing for a playoff spot. Like their youngest DP out of the 10, that's somewhat whatever. Their youngest DP is Latte Lath, who's 27. So in theory, he should be the biggest ceiling raiser on this team. He's not. Almiron is 32. He'll be 33 at the end of the season. Saba Lobjanidze is 31. Maranchuk is 30. This is ridiculous. Ridiculous how old this team is. Even some of their other potential difference makers like Alzate. Alzate is 27. But where is the youth? Where is the youth on this team? They've been starting Lucas Hoyos over Jaden Hibbert. Hoyos, who's 36 and is this year's Oscar Ustari Award winner. They do not have the proper youth to compete. It's just a team of old guys. And while you want veterans, if veterans are going to help you win, aside from Almiron, who did all his winning when he was young in Atlanta, none of these veterans have been able to win stuff in Atlanta, aside from that nonsense Miami series from a couple years ago that really played a bigger part in getting everyone to buy into this team at last year's preseason. So I do think that there is talent on this team. I think Tata's going to have them performing more at a base level than they were last year, where Gaffer Ronnie just completely took the floor out from under this team with how bad he was. So I think that for this team, like, they're 11th. They're really just 11th place. I don't see anywhere else for them to be. Like, there's a potential of them getting hot, like either at the start or the end of the year, but I just don't think anything about this team is sustainable when you're relying on all these 30-year-olds and you don't have any youth who's going to make a serious difference aside from a Johnny Fortune when he comes back from injury.
Joss, you got him as a playoffs team.
I do.
What are you sold on in Atlanta? Highest actually at 8.
Listening to Jeremy's argument, I might have fallen for the bait again. However, when I first started watching The Beautiful Game, I remember distinctly, I was in middle school. It was the 2014-15 European season, okay? And Juventus were playing Real Madrid in the Champions League. And I was talking to my buddy who's a Real Madrid fan. I said, I don't think they could beat this Juventus team. And I said, because of that midfield, Pirlo, Vidal, and Pogba. And my buddy looked at me and said, well, how many of those guys are under 30? And that did not make any sense to me. That is a poor argument. And then Juventus went on to win it. And I was a nasty bastard to him for the rest of the year, bro. So
that's when you were like, none of that woke shit, bro.
None of that woke shit, bro. Class is permanent. Now, granted, is Alexei Miranchuk Andrea Pirlo? No.
Yes.
Not even. Okay, yes.
In MLS, yes.
In MLS, he is. Did you see those free kicks? We all saw those free kicks. Is Fortune Paul Pogba?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Better.
I'm looking for a
He's
yes.
better.
Yeah. So with that being said, I don't think the age argument is too hard, or it's not. I don't think it'll play as much of a factor into how this Atlanta team does this year. Also, in terms of individuals who had not won anything in Atlanta and are unks, the main one who has won something in Atlanta and is an unk is Tata goddamn Martino.
Come on.
He is in. He's back. He knows what he's doing. He's probably taken up smoking at this point if he hadn't already. But he's here
little
to
Bernadeschi
fix
action.
things. Little in the locker room, just hitting stogies. Okay,
And a vape.
and
you know he's on
dueling.
vapes now, dude.
Yeah,
He is a geek bar aficionado.
they're gonna do an ad. There's gonna be an MLS ad. It is gonna be Goals Drive Geek Bars or something like that.
Sponsored by Poly Market.
Sponsored by Jewel. Sponsored by Geek. Anyway, I think Tata is a huge step in the right direction. I think he will get the most out of Latte Loth, a second-year Latte Loth. A Latte Loth who, prior to coming to MLS, was tearing it up at Middlesbrough as a 26-year-old hotshot, getting linked to clubs like West Ham who are massive. He comes to MLS. You cannot tell me that there's not a level within him that he's like, MLS at my age, I'm going to walk this shit. When he doesn't end up doing that, it gives him time to, like, he's had a whole offseason to really think about it as a player. I think he now knows what it's like to compete in this league. I think that he will be a lot better than he was last year.
He had the whole offseason to think about it, and like the back half of last year too, because it was basically an offseason for them.
That's true.
Well, fellas, that's all the Atlanta talk I have for today, honestly. I think we know where we stand. We know that there's some people still willing to get burned. That's me and Joss. You know, we're here for it, okay? I do want to go on record of saying they do have the potential to play the maybe most, I don't know, egregious, ugliest ball, but in Tata we trust, fellas. Come on. Let's move on to our next team in the East. They come to us. It is the New York Red Bulls, or now known as Red Bull New York.
Ooh.
New York Red Bulls,
Thank you.
They will
The
forever,
Metro Stars.
the Metro Stars, if you really want the deepest of cuts. But fellas, I have them in 5th, and you guys have them all. I mean, what is the average without my 5th? You guys have them averaged out in 11th, so there's a very clear split. I want to go on record of saying towards the end of last year, I was very, very angry about the Red Bulls. My eulogy was very much, this team is practically dead to me. But we're back, guys. We're back. Jorge Rubalcaba and Cade Cowell. I'm sorry. Those are two sightings that I would have loved at the Rapids, man. I know they don't have a defense, but in the East, I need shootouts. And if Red Bulls are back to shooting out and going crazy in their games, because now, I mean, they have a crazy front four, dude, of Jeremy's best 11 striker, Eric Choupo-Moting,
Damn straight.
Forsberg, who I think Forsberg's, again, we go back to the class. We go back to the class argument of, yeah, they're over 30, but Forsberg's got class, bro. I'm sorry. He's just a baller. But, you know, now they're no longer dependent on Lewis Morgan, who is, hey, man, that's his business, bro. Let him ball. But I mean, with Rubalcaba and Cade Cowell, I can't see how that front four isn't just gonna light up, you know. And I like Michael Bradley. I like that they have a rotating cast of young guys, any of who can you know, pop onto the scene. But that is my Red Bulls revival. Just when you thought they were dead, you gave them an energy drink, of course. They come right back up, fellas. I'll welcome any of you guys to tell me why the Red Bulls are not it.
Center back.
Don't need center backs in the East, bro.
I think you do need center backs in the East. Also, this isn't like, I'm not like anti-Michael Bradley. I like a lot of their offseason business, but like, those center backs are the difference between what's keeping them out of the playoffs versus in the playoffs. If they are able to add a good center back before the primary transfer window closes, I can see them 7th by the end of the season. But at the same time, I don't really think they'll do that. And it's going to be a bit of a growing year for Michael Bradley. He's going to have a big job. He's not just going to be in charge of putting the kids on the pitch and letting them come back from 2 goals in a cup final. Sorry, Juanners. But yeah, I think Michael Bradley over his coaching career will be a very good coach. But this year is like, welcome to the big leagues, buddy.
Daniel, Joss, anything you guys want to add to the New York Red Bulls discourse?
I have one thing. I put them at 10th because I think they're a borderline playoff team with where they are at now. Center back position did concern me a little bit. My take on how good they're going to be is how well Marshall Ruddy and Cade Cowell can play together. I think they have some width, and I think they can score a lot of goals, but there's so many new pieces together that have played different styles that it's more of a curiosity thing before I rate them higher than they might be. Be good to see them in the playoffs again, though. That style of play is chaotic. It makes games unpredictable.
Joss, you want anything to add? Should we move on to our next team?
They did not make the playoffs last year, ending their streak. Now the streak is over. It's free fall. From a Sporting KC fan. I know what it's like.
That's the right mentality. Yes.
Well, next team also didn't make the playoffs, and they are also tied with 10th with the Red Bulls. So officially the OTB cast does not think that the Red Bulls are a playoff team, and neither do they think Toronto is a playoff team. Also in 10th, me and Joss have them as high as 7th, but Jeremy's got him in 14th. Jeremy, start us off, man. Why this disrespect for Toronto?
I mean, I look at this team. It's proper for me to think like, okay, they've made some really smart additions in the past couple of windows, but I think that Bernadeschi / Insigne hangover is just going to last a little bit longer. And keep in mind, the bottom of the East is really, really crowded. So at least I have, like, in those non-playoff spots, I have New England, Atlanta, Red Bulls, DC, Toronto in that order, and then Montreal is just a they're hopeless. So I think that this is just going to be really, really jumbled, and those teams just going to keep taking points off each other. I don't think Toronto is necessarily like very bad, but I think they just slip towards the bottom. There's just something about it. I can't really put my finger on it, but it feels right to be like, yeah, Toronto in 14th. Like I can see it. I can give them one more year of struggling, or until their DP striker comes, which once again, I don't know how much that's really going to raise the floor. I don't know. I'm not too bought in on Toronto, but 14th does seem harsh, but it's more like, like 2 points out of 10th type of thing, rather than like 14th very bad. Like who would I put 14th in the West? Like, we'll get to them. But yeah, yeah, I don't see Toronto as so much of a lost cause. I just think like the margins to win games, they're not going to have it. So yeah, and they drew a lot last year too.
Daniel, do you agree?
Yeah, I think that's the correct take on your Torontos, your New York Red Bulls, your, I guess, New England's. Some would make the argument for Atlanta's. It's not that they're bad teams, and they would probably be borderline playoff teams in the West. It's the fact that the East is just so tough. I think that's the right take, Jeremy.
Josh seems to think Toronto, and me as well. We got them at 7th, so there's obviously something we believe in Toronto. Josh, what are you seeing?
Georgi Mihailovic and Walker Zimmerman, I think, are a full year together. Like, I think Georgie he is very much a floor raiser, and we saw it near the end of last year. Now, granted, it was kind of like a too little, too late situation, but Georgi Mihailovic is outstanding, and I think in a league of tens, which is very much Major League Soccer, they have one of the best. Even though he's not even like a full 10, he's just. I'm a big fan of his, and also this take is kind of precipitated on the idea that they do land Josh Sargent. That might not happen, and this take totally flops. But I think if they can land Sargent, and they have Georgie, and they have Walker Zimmerman, like that's a solid core of guys. That's a solid core of dudes, and like in every aspect of the field. So with that happening, I think that they are a 7th place team. If they do not land a DP striker in the mold of Josh Sargent, then uh-oh.
Hey, even if it doesn't happen, I gotta get 2 shows out. Jules Anthony Vilsaint. That is all I will say. Y'all, I'm
Jules
ready
Anthony
for him.
Vilsaint gets them in the 7th.
Yes, come on.
What'd you say?
Exactly. Jules Anthony Vilsaint prop, starting it early. I think Montreal are going to regret ever trading him away to Toronto, no less. Like it's built for him to just soar after that trade. I liked a lot of what I saw from Vilsaint. Toronto, like they stabilized a lot. They were firmly out of the playoffs, but now it's like, all right, now they got a lot of players off of their contracts now that weren't that, that were just taking up roster cap space. Like Petretta's gone, Rosted's gone, Kevin Long's gone, Kosi Thompson getting more of a start. I know Rich Larea is back, but I still
Bernadeschi isn't smoking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like at least there will be a bit more of a healthier cap situation for them. Hello, this is Juanners coming at you in post-production. It was at this point in our pod recording when Daniel would lose his internet connection, and we decided to persist on without him. So unfortunately, we lose Daniel's reasonings for his picks, but nonetheless, we still try to provide his predictions as well. And so that is why there's a little... there's the rest of the podcast without him. So do apologize for that. While I've got you here, I may as well also promote the Outside the Box Kick-Based Fantasy League. If you want to be in a league with me, Daniel, Jeremy, and Josh, join this league. Sicko rules do apply. I want to see, just the cheapest starters that y'all can find. It's a tough budget, one player per team, head to head. So even if you accumulate the most points, all you got to really do is just beat the next best guy, right? So, super excited to be working for Kickbase this season. Really excited for the app this year and for the fantasy season as a whole. And so want to get as many of the outside the box supporters in a league as possible. Here is how you join. You go to boxstatefooty.com. You make sure you're subscribed. There'll be a little sign up button there, but hit the sign up, put in your email, and then from there you can hit us up on Instagram, on Twitter, on Bluesky, by email, by YouTube. Just tell us that you want to join the league. You can email us if you want. Just say you want in on the league, and we'll confirm. Make sure you're subscribed, and you'll be in. So just trying to, make the two worlds meet of mine. So the Outside the Box Kickbase Fantasy League deadline is 220, but we're pushing it right up until game time or until we're out of spaces. First 14. So come on through. We'll invite you to the Discord as well so we can keep the bantering going on. So we are back. Took a little break here. Just finished up talking about Toronto. Our next team, going back to the West, a team just outside of the playoffs, all but for one of us here, and I guess Daniel as well, but Daniel just got snatched by, who even runs the Wi-Fi anymore? But our next team is FC Dallas, the one playoff team, the one Western Conference team we have just outside the playoffs, of course, FC Dallas. I'm going to go to Josh because he hasn't.
I'm high. I'm high, bro. I'm high on FC Dallas. Okay.
Tell us. Oh, sorry, bro.
Dude, I know you don't agree with the take, bro. You don't got to banish me to the shadow realm.
I meant to get rid of the Dallas logo.
Good
you know what?
Lord.
No more logos, dude. I got to.
Threw me out, bro.
I know. Tell us about Dallas, though.
You made me walk the plank. FC Dallas, I'm high on them solely based on that run of form from the end of last season. Okay. Eric Quill.
The fraud form.
They threw Lucho Acosta to the Wolves, bro. He's gone. Okay. And then they decided to stop conceding goals until the playoffs. But they decided to stop conceding goals. I see them being Minnesota from last year. Where they played some. No. Just plug it in.
Plug it in.
I see them being Minnesota last year, okay, where they play some ugly stuff. They are not fun to watch. But when you have a deep, I don't think he's a DP. He might be a DP. DP9 like Petar Musa.
He's absolutely a DP.
Okay, definitely. My top 3 striker in the league. Good things happen, okay? when you're able to stop goals from going in, good things happen. This FC Dallas team are going to be ugly to watch. But from August 8th to the end of the season, not counting the playoffs, they picked up 1.9 points per game. That's like what LAFC were doing when Sun joined. That's my argument.
Man, Jeremy, we both have them at 13.
Mm-hmm.
I like your poking my holes of the Red Bulls as 5 with, going to the center backs. I'm going to the center backs with Dallas as well. I like Ozaze Uragide, but then the other 2 center backs he's got, in between like Lawless, who's got another year under his belt, Alvaro Augusto, who is okay. And if it's not him, it's Sebastian Ibiago, who's got another year on him as well. I think if there was like a Jalen Neal on this team, I would feel a lot better, or like a young center back prospect. Because I'm thinking back to the times of when Walker Zimmerman was just coming onto the MLS scene in like 2016, right? And then he ends up, being just the star in the back line. I don't know who that is for Dallas outside of Jurgita, of course, but that my Western Conference picks were more so who's got the better defense of these teams, and I think there's just better defenses than the one Dallas have right now. Jeremy, what are you thinking?
Like, at their core, Dallas is a selling club. Musa is not going to be here for the entire season. He will get sold at some point, and I anticipate that to be in the summer, particularly if he's going to be good enough to keep Dallas like hovering around those playoff spots by the time the World Cup break hits. Like, they're going to get an offer they can't refuse for him. And when Dallas historically gets those offers, they sell. So, yeah, he's gone at some point, which begs the question, what is this attack going to do without Petar Musa? Do you fully install Logan Farrington as you're going to have to change everything.
Call him by his full name, Jeremy, if you say his name.
Logan Hot Dog Farrington.
That's right.
That's right. That's
all fucking caps
right.
when you say his name.
That's right. They're going to be banking a lot on improvements from Christian Kappas, Lucius Don Dietzen, some of the players that came in. I did not. There's a reason I said that, not just because I love his name, but those are players that came in during the summer last year, and like Kappas at least earned a starting spot. Don Dietzen did not. You also have a fair amount of winter arrivals that, while they fill positions of need, they don't really move me in particular. Like, I'm looking at Rand Binyamin and I'm wondering, like, why him? Like, legitimately, you already have Kaique there. You already have Patrick Delgado. Whoopsies. You already have Ramiro. Oh, so there were areas on this team they needed to strengthen in this transfer window. I don't think they did that. And you're relying once again on this team, like just playing like Minnesota without the true top end talent, not just at the striker position that Minnesota had. That they're missing the playoffs this year. That entire run last year was fraudulent as hell, and Vancouver proved it in the playoffs.
Vancouver were really good, bro. Let's be honest, dude. Let's be honest.
I know it's a little harsh, but
let's call a spade a spade. Vancouver were nasty.
Game one. Dallas, I think, had one shot.
I know, but Dallas was also missing players. Dallas was completely.
They were missing players for the decision day game that they frauded a result in. They had those players in game one, if I remember correctly. So, man, yeah, this isn't just like, I hate Dallas. This isn't like I hate Dallas, don't believe in Dallas. It's just like they're just going to sell Musa and they're not going to be able to properly replace him. And also, I think less of teams that play against the ball like that.
Oof. We want possession here, fellas. We want to hold the ball, not do shit with it. Let's move on to our playoff teams. We have 2 of them in the West, 2 of them in the East. Starting first with Houston Dynamo. And I was hoping to have Daniel here to help me defend the Dynamo a little bit. But I've got, just by sheer 6th place for me. But Joss and Jeremy's got him at 14th. So if you thought his assessment was Dallas was scathing, I'm interested to hear this one. But tell us about Houston. Just down on the Texan teams, are you?
Yeah, but this
except
one
for one,
is like,
except for one, we'll get to them.
This one might be the most, like, I guess, egregious, but trust me, I know what I'm doing here. Houston, after completely disappointing last year due to failing to win on the margins, not being able to score goals, and conceding a ton of goals because they kept playing the same traffic cone week after week in goal, they decided, okay, here's where we really need to improve. We need new center backs. Lucas Halter, I'm fine with these center backs, honestly. Ironically, I think that's going to be the strength of the team. I'm not believing too much in the Ache return either. Like, he's 35. The last moment he had on the field for this team, like, he's suspended for the first game.
He's not going to play. He's not coming in to start, though.
But once again, like, if you have him and with how important he was to that Open Cup winning team, the 23-24 team, like, he's going to be starting sooner than later out of necessity. They're going to need him. Why are you recruiting over Lawrence Anali? Why? Who is going to play the number 10 role? Are you going to put Bogusz there? Are you going to put Bogusz out wide? Like, is he even good enough to be a DP? Which, not because I don't think he's a very good player. I don't think he's going to be a ceiling raiser for this team, which is what you want from your DPs. And when you look at their 3 DPs, Ponce, not a ceiling raiser, completely reliant on the other players around him. Guilherme, not the best track record in South America, and he's a bit old. And once again, you recruited over Anali to bring him in. And then you have Bogusz, who had a really, really, really good season with LAFC, playing all over the field, but he was never asked to be the guy there. I don't believe in this Houston team that much. This is the year that Ben Olsen's project blows up in his face. I think he could be first coach fired, legitimately. I do not have a lot of faith in this Houston team. I think their front office has gotten a fair amount of moves wrong over the past couple of years. Keep in mind, what does Andre Linger even do? What does he even do? Where is he going to play? Your big DP acquisition from the middle of last year, where are you putting him in on this team? You're not benching McGlynn. You're not benching Bogusz. You better not be benching Guilherme after you just brought him in. Is he the striker? Do you bench Ponce? Like, what do you do with him? I do not have any faith in this Houston team. They are going to crash. They are going to burn. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy that. And also, probably their most important move that just happened today, mind you, they just traded Griffin Dorsey for Gam. Why? Why? I don't like Griffin Dorsey, but he is the most important wide outlet on that right side. Why do you just trade him to Orlando? What is the point of that? You just completely weakened yourself even further. The roster moves don't make sense. Ben Olsen has lost the touch. The top end of this roster is not going to be able to compete with the rest of the West. That's it, 14th. And the thing that's keeping them from 15th is an SKC team with 20 players on their team. Like, I wish SKC did more so I could put Houston in 15th. Legitimately.
Okay, man. Crazy stray. Okay.
I know. For real.
Not your fault. Not your fault.
Man, my 6 is now looking because yeah, I've been a big proponent of the Ben Olsen. I'm being tired of the Ben Olsen experience. There's a lot of players they, have just gotten rid of here that could have probably, done a number. Like Brooklyn Reigns would have been nice to have around, right? Maybe even Ethan Bartlow, maybe Obafemi Awadesu, maybe Eric Duenas. But on the other side of that, I do think Felipe Andrade can play on either side, so I think he fills in on that right hand side. I think there is something to be said about scouting ahead of Anali, but then imagine it's the 60th minute and Anali's coming on. You know what I mean? Like, that is the kind of stuff that I would also look towards. If he doesn't outright win, I think he does win the starting position. I think a lot of this team is just going to go through Anali in the same way that they went through like Alberto Carrasquilla before going through Jack McGlynn, and now McGlynn should, be able to play more of a in that pivot. They definitely need somebody else to step up though, but they have contingency plans. Nick Markinick, dude, like we have both Markinicks back in MLS. Like if Ponce is
move.
Nelson Quinones is another player who should be coming back from injury as well, right? So I just think there's enough here, honestly, because the rest of the West has just been so, mid, honestly. Like I think they have the talent to decide some games in such a bullshit way. But Josh, do you have anything to say about Houston, or do you want to go to the team you feel of the worst here amongst the Texan teams?
No, I have no other thoughts. I love when Jeremy gets on his soapbox. If I feel like I'm at church in a good way, in a fully complimentary way.
Well, you seem to have kind of a similar sentiment here. You have Austin in 15th.
Yep.
It is insane. I think this is the biggest gap because me and Daniel have them at 5. Jeremy thinks they're a playoff team, and it rounds off into being a playoff team, but you're firmly against them being a playoff team. You have them as bottom of the West. Walk me through it, man. Like, tell me about that.
Austin FC last year, they scored how many goals was it? Let me check.
Not enough.
They scored less than 40 goals last year. Unmoved. I'm not moved. I know that Brandon Bsky hurt his ACL. I get that. Okay. I know that they were defensively pretty sound. I understand. I know they went out and got Facundo Torres. That's great. Bringing him back into the league from Palmeiras, and swapping Bukhari out for him. I think that that's a good move, but I don't think it's a really good enough move to elevate this attack enough to move me. I think that there are the sheer fact that a lot of the teams last year that were basically dysfunctional, and I'm saying Sporting KC scored more goals than these guys did. That's nasty to me. So with all that, like I'm just not moved by Austin FC. I don't rate them. I think that sure they made the Open Cup final, but they lost at home to Nashville. Like overall, the roster is not one that really moves me. I was sold on the hype last year when it was announced that Brandon Vazquez was coming in. I was like, yeah, this Austin team are going to be nasty. Then they scored 37 goals all year. So I'm not falling for the hype again. I'm out on the hype. Okay. I made the mistake with Atlanta. I fully accept that I am still in on Atlanta a little bit. I'm out on Austin.
Oh my God. Those are going to be flipped.
It's so base. It's so base. Like Austin is so lucky that the West was so mid last year and Atlanta flopped harder. Mm-hmm. Like they are so lucky for that. And when I was going through this, I initially entering today, because I made my final edits on this today. Entering today, I had Austin in 13th, but I readjusted. And also, by the way, currently Juanners, my table is updated. I have Austin in 11th. I have them below San Jose. I have them below Colorado. Like I am so ready for a season from hell for Austin. Because I don't like this roster build. I critiqued RSL for their left back problem. Look at what Austin has done. Joseph Rosales, Guilherme Biro, Zan Komanic, all of whom deserve to be starting somewhere. They all deserve to be starting somewhere. And all three of them are 25 years old. And only one can play for this Austin team. Like, oh, maybe we move Rosales farther up. Maybe he plays wing. What? Are you going to bench the DPs? Are you going to bench Jaden Nelson, Robert Taylor, who somehow is still on this team? Robert Taylor barely got a fucking look in last year. What is this central midfield going to look like? Like, Pereira's a locked-in starter. Owen Wolf is good, but they're putting tons of pressure on him to be the main creator, and his best attribute is still his set piece delivery. Like Besard Sabovic, ha ha ha. I can at least laugh at that. I wanted him really badly last year. Maybe I can be a bit of a stupid idiot sometimes. But they don't have a number 6. They really don't have a number 6. And they did get weaker at center back this year. So, yeah, I see this team going down. I'm not brave enough to put them in 15th, but I respect the hell out of Joss for doing so. 100%. Facundo Torres is going to take shots from everywhere, and he's really only mostly effective from the penalty spot, guys. You know, those goal numbers inflated heavily. They paid $9 million to have arguments whenever they win a penalty. That's what they did. That's what they did. Because Uzuni's going to try and step up, and he missed a big one against LAFC in the playoffs last year. Vasquez, when he gets back, is going to step up. But then Facundo Torres is going to be there like, hey, wait, let me take this. I want to take this. Maybe Joseph Rosales gets involved. Like, and that's assuming they even get many penalties, because this team is not going to spend a lot of time in the box. I'll tell you what. So, yeah, Joss, love you for that pick. I can only go 13th, but this is going to be really, really funny. And also, Rodolfo Burrell, his job is so safe because only he could get a majority of their money back on Bukhari. Like, that's what he does. He is there to buy expensive DPs and just try and reflip them after they bust.
Fellas, I hate the position that I'm now in to defend Austin FC, but I will. I absolutely will. Because yes, you do mention the left back issue, but I think it's because this team's going to be playing out of a 3-4-3. And if anything has taught us, if they are going to be the most unethical team, they are, for that reason, the best built unethical team, right? I'm going to take you to Joss's stats about scoring 37 goals, sub 40 goals, right? You know who scored the next least amount?
Who?
RSL. After them, guess who?
Who?
Portland. All three of them made the playoffs. So goals, get them out of here, dude. It's not about goals here. Houston scored more goals. Colorado scored more goals. St. Louis scored more goals. LA, SKC scored more goals than all of those teams that I just mentioned, right? San Jose scored 60 and they, you know, I mean, goals are one thing, but game states, managing game states is a whole other. I think Austin of all the teams really, can in the West, I should say, should be able to control these games pretty well out of a 3-4-3, because then you mitigate having to have a creator by just having your two best players in Danny Pereira and Owen Wolf on the field. That's all you need. And then you have them work and find Jaden Nelson, Uzuni, and Facundo Torres. And guess what? If Uzuni doesn't work out, come April, you got Brandon Vasquez there. And it's definitely going to work once Brandon Vasquez is in. Like I see it with you, with Austin, where you see maybe competition. I see just good depth. So if Mikel Dessler goes down, you got John Gallagher either side. Svatak's pretty good. Georgievich is going to have another crack at the 11. Dubrsarski another year. Hopefully he's got, you know, more legs in him, maybe a Pereira replacement. But man, I'm not even that passionate about this team, fellas. It's just, I just think their floor is too good. I think, and in the West, that's really all you need is just that solid floor. In the East, however, it's all about however your team can just survive the gauntlets that are just these games, man. And we're moving on to our next playoff team, Orlando. Because, I mean, the West is a dogfight. Houston and Austin, both teams just, you know, grinding it out. But our next Eastern Conference team, Orlando here, Daniel's got him in 3. I think that's a little high, but we each, I got him as low as 12th. Joss has got him in 10th, so we're not believing in Orlando, and Jeremy's just got him in that 9th spot. I'm going to take out Daniel's ranking, and we think Orlando, between the three of us, is not a playoff team. Fellas, who wants to lead off the Orlando talk? Because I'm assuming I know we're going to go with it, but I definitely 180'd after my Orlando takes last week.
I prior to today, because I as I mentioned earlier, I did my last edits today. Prior to today, I had them in 12th, but they replaced Alex Freeman with Griffin Dorsey.
Did they?
So, I mean, not to the extent, but in terms of getting a right back who's going to get up the field and provide support on that right wing, they did. And I think that's a really good signing for them. But at the same time, there's a lot about this team that just gives me the willies. This is an entirely new center back pairing they're going to have to break in. Some combination of Iago and pick a guy. Who's going to play left back? Is it going to be Brekalo or is it going to be Adrian Marine? And they completely ran out of gas at the end of last year too. Who's going to be a striker? When does their new striker come in? Because I like Duncan McGuire, but like it's weird because he should really be in the championship right now. He should be a Blackburn player. But Orlando somehow, the one player that was supposed to be gone before Muriel, before Ramiro Enrique, he's the one that's actually still here. I do like Marco Pasalic. I do like Martino Heda. I do like this midfield. But at the same time, like the defense, I like these Orlando teams the past few years have been built on a very, very solid defense. And like Crepeau coming in for Gallese, I see that more as a like-to-like as opposed to them just missing out on Carlos Coronel, who ghosted them and went to Brazil. I think that their defense is going to take a serious step back. So they're just going to have to keep scoring more and more and more. And this Eastern Conference is so competitive. They're still a good team. Don't get me wrong. And I put them in 9th place because they're just going to be able to scrape into that wild card because they're going to have more experience than New England. And Oscar Pareja is one of the best floor setters in this league.
Josh, do you want to expand on Orlando, or do you want to take us to your team in 11th here? You could move on to the next team unless you want to.
Let's see. Who did I have in? Oh, please. I really want to talk Philly.
Cat's out of the bag, Philly. Because, I mean, I have Orlando in 12th. I mean, for Philly and Orlando, I have both these teams out of the playoffs, but two higher scores from Jeremy on Orlando and Philly, and Daniel as well, who is really high on Orlando and Philly. But again, take out Daniel's picks, and we think Philly and Orlando, between the three of us, is not a playoff team, except for Jeremy, of course. But tell us about Philly, Josh, here, because I think these are just two teams we're both seeing as like, y'all got to make room for some new Eastern Conference teams, and y'all are on the way down. But
yeah.
What do you think?
So my thing with Philly is I think they've gone through numerous changes, losing Tiber Rebo. They lost Ura, who actually I think is more of an addition by subtraction kind of move. But Jakob Glesnes is gone. Kai Wagner is gone, so he can go say slurs in England now, allegedly. But Philadelphia, when I was doing my research for this, I was looking at the power rankings on MLS.com, and they said their reasoning for having Philadelphia in 8th in the league, by the way, across the East and the West, is those are massive losses. And yet, because it's the Union, you kind of just expect them to pull some kids from the academy, sign some guys you've never heard of, and roll to 55 points. Maybe this year will be different, but betting against Philly has only paid off once since 2018. I don't like the hypotheticals, okay? I don't like the hypothetical guy they could pull from the academy. They probably have one. It's Philadelphia, but I'm not moved based on the argument on what they've lost and that they might have guys that can pull in from the academy. For me, I think that it does well to angle Philadelphia to be lower in the table. I know there's a lot of question marks around who they brought in. I mean, Damiani, play the song, Jeremy. I know they brought him in at the start at last season, but was he even that good? Like, we really can't rely on the whole sign some guys you've never heard of argument, because recently I don't think Philadelphia have really excelled in the transfer market as they have done in years prior. Also, Bradley Carnell's second season syndrome. I know it. You know it. We all know it. St. Louis were tired in their second season under Carnell. That Red Bull full intensity soccer that won them the West, it took its toll on them when it came time to go again. Unless Carnell changes his strategy and changes his approach, I think we're going to see a similar reaction in Philadelphia.
I want to lead off here as well, mostly because I think I was late on the Philly crash out. I'm piggybacking off the Carnell second season syndrome, but I do think there's talent in like a Jaffet Sari Larson, Ezekiel Alida, Gainer Martinez. I think it's just a lot of new pieces that they're going to have to fit that makes them out of the playoffs. But that's why I just have them in 10th, and still kind of happy that they're collectively a BSF 9th place team here. Fellas, actually, we have 18 teams that we think are making the playoffs, and between Houston, Austin, Orlando, and Philly, those are our 9th place teams. Jeremy, of Orlando and Philly, you have Philly ahead of Orlando here,
yes,
despite a wild card. Why are you more in favor of Philly than Orlando?
Because I do think they've had a very good winter window. I do like Alado. I do like all the center back additions that they made. My bigger question, though, is so much of this team, particularly on the attacking end, was driven by Kai Wagner, and they're going to have a really hard time replacing him. They're also going to have a really hard time without Quinn Sullivan. That's what takes them from at least the upper echelon of the East, like top 4, closer to the wild card. I still am very confident in this Philly team. I don't think we're going to see the same type of Bradley Carnell crash out that we saw in St. Louis, because St. Louis frauded their way to first place in the West that year. And Philly last year played really, really well against the top teams in the East, aside from Miami, even though they could have done better against Miami. I think that there's going to be a lot asked of one Kevin Sullivan, one Milan Ilowski. Indiana Vasilev is still going to get his run out, but there's still a ton of talent on this team. And although Ernst Tanner, who I am personally rooting on this downfall so hard, and I tried to make it happen, I don't see Philly dropping fully out of the playoffs this year. I think they're going to host a wild card game and then get spanked in the first round or something like that. But a huge plus to this year, and a reason why I don't think they're going to have as sharp of a fall off, is a gigantic break in the middle of the season for the World Cup. Like, that's going to benefit Philly so much, because when you're running like that 24/7,
or
getting
it throws them off.
Time off that too. But I'm more of like, not so much a Philly believer, but like, this is a good, solid team that did a lot of good work in this transfer window, but they didn't replace the player that they needed to replace the most.
You know, that sounds a lot like our next team, the LA Galaxy, who we all have in 8th. Collectively, with Daniel, the biggest non-believer. Would have loved to have him here, but he got snatched by the Wi-Fi police. But take out Daniel's rating, and suddenly LA Galaxy bumps up to 7 from 8, our collective 8. But you know, Jeremy said it with Philly. They just did good business, but they forgot to replace the one guy, right? And Philly missed out on replacing Wagner. I don't know if the Galaxy properly replaced Ricky Puig, which is why I'm on 7. Maybe Josh feels the same way there at 8th. But Jeremy, you got him at 5th. So you really like the business here then, if that's the case. I mean, hard not to when, we talk about who Philly lost. They lose Jacob Glesnes, and who gets them is LA Galaxy. But Jeremy, 5th place for the Galaxy.
All right, we're getting into the playoff teams, guys, which means it's time to make the statement of the year about the West. The top 4 and then everybody else. Everybody else in the West is some variation of mid. Only the top 4 teams in the West can truly be counted on to actually be good. I only have to say those top 4. You know who they are. And I believe right now the Galaxy are just simply the best of the rest in terms of the mid. They are climbing to the top of that landfill so they can look out over the kingdom of garbage that they're about to oversee for the majority of this year. Because none of these other Western Conference teams have a player like Gabriel Peck. At least none of the other mid teams in the West have a Gabriel Peck that they can call on. I think the Joao Klaus move is pretty smart because he will drop in and he can play make a little bit from being a center forward. The problem is when you ask him to score goals, but if he's doing more playmaking, more of the goal scoring burden is going to fall on Paintsel and Peck's shoulders, and they're both really good at what they do. I am, however, very worried if one of those two gets injured. They brought back Mateus Nascimento too. Why? Whatever. I'm a little bit higher on the midfield than I was last year, but the most important reason for this ranking is they went out and they got Jacob Glesnes and Justin Hack, 2 defenders who last year you would not have been laughed at if you would put them in your best 11.
Hack,
Really?
maybe.
Like,
No,
that's
I
it.
got laughed last year midway through the season, but yes.
Yes. So I believe in whatever center back pairing they can put out there because they have 4 starting quality center backs and all of them could make a difference. Maya Yoshida, who's still the club captain, Miro Garces, who rebounded a little bit towards the back half of last year, Hack, Glesnes. I still think there's a weakness at goalkeeping, but I'm once again, they're still the best of the rest of mid, and they did a lot of work on that defense. I'm not so much a Galaxy believer. They're not like contender mode or anything, but at least they get to oversee the kingdom of garbage.
Josh, you want to tell us about Galaxy?
They got Eric Tommy and Joao Klaus. It's a heated rivalry situation. I'm waiting for the movie. I'm waiting for the heated rivalry MLS presented by Audi. Allegedly.
Man, that's crazy.
Onside.
Onside.
No, I think Jeremy is right. It is kind of a mound of garbage at this point in the West. And it really could be a couple of points deciding placements for these teams. In terms of why I think the Galaxy are a playoff team, I think that they're better equipped to handle a Ricky Puig-less season. We saw it kind of near the end of last season, how their uptick in form, and Greg Vanney is Greg Vanney. I think there was a lot of eyebrows raised when he was given a contract extension last year, but I actually did like the move from the Galaxy front office. I think in terms of professionalism and in terms of a coach that knows the league, you're going to be hard pressed to find somebody better than Vanney. And I think with that, and also with the players like Paintsel and Peck, Marco Royce is there, obviously, and the upgrades at center backs, and Zenka's now been sent off into the sun. I think that this is at least a playoff team.
Yes.
Another team that is a playoff team, according to the OTB averages, is a 1 Portland Timbers, but both Joss and I have Portland Timbers outside of, I have them just outside the playoffs, and then Joss has them outside at 11th. Jeremy, he's got him in 8th, and Daniel's really in on Portland. Maybe it's the
I
fact
wish he
that
was here.
maybe maybe it's the fact that you guys both have English managers. There's a little bit of a you scratch my back with with the Dean Smith and I scratch yours with Neville. But with Portland, man, I'm just gonna let Jeremy talk about Portland, dude, because when we think about like the landfill, I just can't help but think of Portland, man. Like they're one of those teams that you just throw in there with the rest of them.
Yeah, you throw them in 7th to 11th, and you're like, yeah. And I don't see why this year is going to be any different. The only reason, keep in mind, because I'm with you guys in a way of saying 11th, 10th, like outside the playoffs. They have the easiest schedule in the league after the World Cup. And also after the World Cup, I'm pretty sure they're going to add another DP. And they could enter the World Cup in like 13th place, but then rise to 8th because they just will have the easier schedule, and they won't have a ton of players away at the World Cup. So, oh man,
I just think if you lose Chara,
yeah,
team's still dependent on Chara.
It is. They always have been.
And I love it, but I think it's time. I think it's old. I think Old Reliable just doesn't work.
Oh, dude, I thought you were gonna say Oldie Eller.
No, Old Reliable.
Hold the fuck on with that shit. Diego Chara, are you kidding me? Oh my god. But I am spiritually with you guys, as in like they do not look like a playoff team, but this year is weird. The majority of the games take place after the World Cup. Portland has the easier schedule. They have a lot more home games, and they'll probably add a DP that will help them significantly. There's also the caveat of they're trying to add another defensive mid right now. They're trying to add another attacker right now, and they still have more flexibility and cap space. And keep in mind, they pushed the chips all in during last summer window. The only problem is that one of those players got hurt. Another one of those players was constantly hurt. And then the third one was Christopher Velda. And he's very good. So
he is very
throughout
good.
the first half of the season, it's basically just what can Velda do as DaCosta comes back from his injury. After the World Cup, though, this team could get unleashed, but unleashed to a point where they finish 8th because that's just what they do now.
With that being said, let's move on to New York City FC. We got them in as the only Eastern Conference team at 8, and then after this, it starts to get really, really juicy, I think. But 6 from me, 7 from Jeremy, 8 from Daniel, and 9 from Josh. Yeah, that's why I did it that way.
Yeah, that's awesome.
But we all, it all averages out to a team that I think, has just been very solid. I think my 6 might be a bit too high. If I were to go back, I might bump it down to 9 just because there's still some questions at striker. But Josh, tell us about New York City. What are you seeing there?
Say like exactly what you said. There are some questions at striker. Alonso Martinez went down with an ACL injury, and he was stellar last season for NYCFC. I think that there is a bit of an asterisk that you can put in there because NYCFC were without Martinez for their massive playoff win against Philadelphia, but that was like, that was a one-off. Over the course of a season, I don't think NYCFC have that firepower at striker that Martinez provided for a majority of last season. So that's why I have them finishing in 9th. They also lost Justin Hack, which we've talked about at length about how good he was at the end of last season. And Tyus Magno's back. Some folks maybe think that Tyus Magno is the guy for NYCFC to turn to. I don't agree. I think that Tyus Magno, like I didn't think he was that good during his time in the league. I wasn't that moved by him. So him coming back, I'm like, okay. I kind of feel the same way about Hector Herrera. I'm like, okay, it's cool, I guess, but beyond that, nothing much. So for the Pigeons, NYCFC, that's why I have them finishing so low. I just think that with Martinez being out, Justin Hack being gone, their notable addition being Tyus Magno. I mean, Matt Freese is still there, and he'll be hoping to get a World Cup spot as well. I just don't think this is nearly as good of a team as it was last year.
See, I liked enough of the pieces that came in last year, especially Raul Gustavo. I think between Gustavo and Martins, it's been forever since Martins has had a very good, backline partner. And maybe it was Justin Hack in the end, to be honest. But I really liked what I saw from Gustavo. I'm hoping to see some Malachi Jones minutes, Seymour Reed as a, cheeky Jonathan Shore type player, this kind of random youth player that just gets some random minutes, but ends up being, quite tidy. I think I do quite like, I think what sells me more on NYC and what kept me so high was your Pascal Jensen prop.
Oh,
so
okay.
I held on to that because I was like, I figured you'd have had him, more higher, but I trust in Pascal Jensen, him and the roster is a bit weaker than last season, so I will give you that. But we all think they're a playoff team. You know what I mean? Like a nice solid round 8. The other 8s you had, maybe high scores off weighing their average there, but we all are kind of in that, New York could be among, because this is the East, right? The East is where it's like after 9th, it becomes really tough to justify your position there. But glad to see we're all kind of thinking NYC might be a threat here. Another team kind of that averages out really well for us is Minnesota. Daniel's got him at 6th. Joss has got him at 6th, and Jeremy's got him at 6th. It's the devil ball here live. That's why I had to put him at 8, fellas. I think there might be an adjustment period for Minnesota as they kind of figure out, how do we, because I like Cameron Knowles. That's why I didn't want to place him out of the playoffs, but I also think some adjustment will be needed. And then beyond that, what does the second half of the season look after a James Rodriguez in the World Cup? I don't think it's enough to keep them, way high up, but you guys have them at 6, which is for Jeremy, it's right after the Galaxy, right? So it's that next team behind the Galaxy, but interested to hear you guys' thoughts on Minnesota here.
I'll start this one off with Dominic Fitz propaganda.
Oh no.
Now, here's the thing. Minnesota have the players to play well with the ball. You could debate whether or not they had them last year. Eric Ramsey obviously did not, because he set them up to play the most cowardly soccer we've ever seen in the MLS. But it got praised because they won games. Congratulations to him and all. I'm sure he will get a nice job with that wonderful resume of leading a terroristic Minnesota team to the playoffs. I hope all is going well for him too. I really do. But when you look at some of the players they have on this team, like, how much are they really going to miss Robin Lode? I don't think they will. Between Rodriguez, between Fitz, between Joaquin Pereira, between Julian Gressel, the incoming Peter Stroud as well, they're pretty well stocked in that area. Thomas Chankalai, I like him a lot. I really do.
Chankalai in the West.
Yeah, I think the most interesting thing is, how do they set this team up? How are they going to play now? I think the back 5 is gone. I think we see this team play something much more, what's it called? like normal and proper, and I think they'll be fine because they do have the talent on the roster.
James Rodriguez is playing in Minnesota. He's playing.
He's so happy.
He's
bro.
number 10 in Minnesota, and I was actually talking with a couple of my buddies today, and this can extend into a larger talk about Major League Soccer. But one of my buddies said, he's like, is MLS becoming more like Major League Baseball in that the major teams like NYC, New York City, Miami, LA, like they get all of the stars, and then we struggle. The rest of the team struggle. And I was like, dude, James Rodriguez just signed for Minnesota. I think that there's obviously been a lot of overhaul at Minnesota this year. Robin Lod is gone. They've lost goalkeeper of the year, Dane St. Clair, for a perfectly normal amount of money, and definitely the kind of money that would be offered to a goalkeeper of the year. And it's not because Messi's at Miami. That's not it. They lost Rosales as well to Austin. And Hassani Dotson has gone to the Sounders, which I think that's a really smart pickup by the Sounders. But I think that Minnesota have a bit of a chip on their shoulder. I think that they probably heard about like how they were anti-soccer last year under Eric Ramsey. And I think that the players are like, well, we can actually play, and here's how we're going to play. And I think that with their new coach, I think that there'll be more of a focus on playing actual soccer, not playing anti-soccer. Also, with everything that's gone on in Minneapolis, I think that there is a level there of like, there's a chip on the shoulder, representing your team and showing up for a city that showed up for its neighbors. I think that because there were stories about how players were scared to come to Minneapolis because of everything that was happening with ICE and everything. So I think that for the players that are there, they want to show up and they want to show out for the city that showed up and showed out so well for their neighbors at the start of the year. And I think James is just he's a talisman for that as well. I think he'll be just the cherry on top.
Yeah. In case you didn't know, dude, fuck ICE, abolish ICE, period. All that needs to be said, dude.
Yep.
For real. I appreciate you shouting that part out, because I definitely was not. I tend to just think about these in the sporting aspect, honestly. But I think that is a valid enough reason to, also bring in the life side of the game as well. Because I mean, it's not like these players, these players are international players, right? It is a valid concern. But to calm down a little bit from getting too upset about the state of the world, to take it back to the sporting side of the game, we're going to go to the East. We have Columbus in 6th. The one guy that's kind of down Columbus of the 4 of us is Daniel. Alfway Daniel's average, and they come in at 5.5. I have him at 4th. So I have him in the upper echelon of Eastern Conference teams. I believe in Wessam Abu Ali. Beyond that, Henrik Rystrom, the new head coach as well. I'm very, very excited to see his type of ball. It seems like it's very much like a continuation on Nancy, but then how does now Gazdag come back? And how does he revitalize his position there as one of the 10s there? Sean Zawatsky, another great piece to have. Like, are we going to see him in midfield? Is he going to be the next Nagby kind of heir? I'd love to see Zawatsky in midfield, but he could do a job at center back. Plenty of signings too that I'm just like very interested to see. Sekou Bangura, Jamal Tiare off the bench. It felt like Atlanta just gave up one of their more productive strikers in TRA, and he's going to Columbus. I think he's going to be just an impact player off the bench more than Aliu would have been so far. You kind of had to after missing out on Jason Russell Rowe, who went to Toulouse. But we got our laminator back. But beyond that, I'm ready for one of these younger guys to make the leap. One of Chase Adams, Owen Prestis, or Quentin Elliott. I want to see one of these young guys for Columbus pop off and kind of be the next Max Arston, be the next, MLS Next Pro 2 Crew 1 type of signing. But you guys both have them in 6. Do either of you want to lead off on a Columbus prop? I mean, we're all still very high on them.
Wissam Abu Ali will win the Golden Boot.
Whoa, spoiler for the other prediction.
Oh, shit. You're doing that separate. Well, oh my God. Well, either way, they're going to play some weirdly fun ball this year. So color me intrigued. And they still have enough talent to remain a solid playoff team. However, their ceiling will be determined by how good their center backs are.
Rudy Camacho season. I want to go. I want to go to Charlotte because you guys both have them in 4. I got them in 8th, and then Daniel has them in 7th. So you guys have Charlotte above Daniel, which is he's gonna love hearing this. But that averages out to our next 6th place team. Joss, where's the Charlotte prop coming from?
The Charlotte prop is coming from they're a really solidly built roster. I think that they've replaced really well with some of their outgoings. Most notably, Malanda going. Did he go to Middlesbrough? Is that where he went? Right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So obviously they're going to be, they're shooting a joint to make the Premier League. But I think that they brought in Luca Della Torre from San Diego from Celta Vigo via San Diego. I think that he's going to be a pretty good midfield, just keep the tempo running, keep the ball ticking. And I'm expecting a huge year out of Toklamati. I know that we've talked about it last year, how good he was.
Gorno.
But it seems that Charlotte just keep pulling out. They seem to know about the number 9. So I think it'll be Toklamati. And then under him, Archie Goodwin. I think that he's going to be the next Toklamati. Toklamati's going to be the Ajamong. Archie Goodwin's going to be Toklamati for this year. That's what I'm trying to say. Where he just seems like he's a fox in the box kind of striker, and he just is really smart with his movement. And also Pep Biel is back, fully healthy. He was missing for Charlotte in the playoff series against NYCFC. That first game in Charlotte made you want to tear your eyeballs out. Terrible game. But with Pep Biel being gone for that game, I think that's a major reason why it was so ass. Now that Pep Biel is in, I hope that we get a full season from him. Also, not to mention it's Wolf Zaha, dude. The guy's here for a second year, and I think that we might have a similar thing with Latte Loth a little bit, where Zaha just may have underestimated how difficult MLS might actually be. And also, you can't fight. Didn't he fight his teammate last year? I feel like I remember him fighting a teammate, or it was maybe he got sent off for fighting an opponent off the ball. Wasn't that what it was? Yeah.
Get him away from Snapchat.
So I just think it's a solid team, solid roster, solid coach. They're also hosting the All-Star game, and we all know I'm starting something now. If you host the All-Star game, your team is making the playoffs and is going to do pretty good.
Ooh. Who hosted last season?
I don't remember.
Austin.
They made the playoffs.
Because see, in 2015, the Colorado held it and they didn't make the playoffs. So I would like to cash in on that for the next.
It starts now. That's okay. It starts now.
Damn it. Well, I don't disagree there. I just think Charlotte haven't done enough to elevate themselves into. I think they're the new Orlando, where they could, they went 9 unbeaten, right? But then they quickly just backslid to where they really should have been. I think there's a lot less of that peak. I think they peaked last season with this roster, and now they just got a good floor. But, they still got Leo Abada, tempted to maybe doubt Tim Ream a little bit. Would have preferred another center back signing than Kessler. But I'm going to take us to our next team, fellas. Averages out to a 5 fifth place in the East for us. Joss, you have FC Cincinnati in 2. Jeremy, after a spirited Ayub Jabari whole spiel, you put him in 3rd. Daniel put him in 4th. Guys, I put him in 11th.
I'm
So
gobsmacked. I'm gobsmacked.
I so gobsmacked that okay, it froze for me. Your video froze for me. So I was funny.
Oh, did it freeze?
But it was just I'm gobsmacked and you're just like But I don't know, guys. I'm just Ayub Jabari, man. That really got in my head. That was playing all day, every day for the last week. Honestly, like I just think Evander's gonna blow it up, guys. I think I think when the way they exited the playoffs last year, it was definitely like a very telling point in their club ethos. And while I don't want to doubt Pat Noonan, I just don't know if there's enough off the field to really make me, because like I said, some teams got to make way for the new dogs. I think Cincinnati implode, fellas. They have the talent, but I mean that defense. I mean Matt Miazga's always a toss up there if he plays. Miles Robinson. I think Nwobodo is better than Gidi, but it looks like Gidi's the starter now. So I'm gonna throw it over.
Which is insane.
I'm throwing it over to you guys because you guys got him at. I mean, take out my ranking, and Cincinnati goes to 3rd in the West.
Now, Juanners, once again, I love just the pure, like, I love the energy behind this pick. I do. However, they're too talented. They are still too talented. But that's crazy considering that they got worse this offseason. But they're still too talented. They just are. It's so stupid. And they added Brian Ramirez at left wing back. He'll be a better left wing back than Orejano was. I'm worried about what might be going on with Matt Miazga. But in the off chance that something crazy does happen, they shouldn't have a problem filling that center back hole. And they're going to need to. But God, you've really made me reconsider. You really have. I should be doing this. It's like, why am I not like hating them the way they should be hated?
Toronto's got a cash for Danke. Oh my God.
See, now we're talking. Here we go. Now we're in.
Oh
now
my
we're talking.
Oh man. Josh, what are you seeing from Cincy?
I'm seeing I think that they're going to be very similar to last year, where they have a lot of 1-0 wins, a lot of wins or a lot of single goal wins, I should say. And I think that they probably outperform their underlying numbers again. I really like
another year.
I do, dude. I really do think so. I think we're going to have a lot of people saying Pat Noonan needs to be strung from the German neighborhood in Cincinnati, over the Rhine. They need to string him by his heels or something. I don't know. Like, I feel like my vibes with Cincinnati are that they're solid defensively. And that's, that's what we were talking about with Austin earlier with FC Dallas. And I mean, if they can get a full, just healthy season out of Matt Miazga, Miles Robinson, and God, who's their other center back? I was just looking at their roster.
Nick Hagland.
Nick Hagland or Teenage Hadebe. If they can get just like
this one up.
if they can get healthy center back seasons out of these dudes, like with Roman Celentano at the back, that's a really, really strong defense and goalkeeper. I'm sure that the players and the coaching staff, they know about the underlying numbers and how they were not up to standard from last year. I think they know that. I think that's probably something that they focused on. And I'm expecting Kevin Danke to be this is his breakout. even more so than last year. I think he outperforms his goal numbers.
On Toronto.
On Toronto. Yes.
I fucked this up so much, guys. I really did. Oh my god. This is the one I'm gonna regret more than anything. They're gonna,
That's
they're gonna
bad,
finish,
bro. I have him second,
They're
bro.
gonna finish in a wild card spot. They're gonna finish in a wild card spot, and I'm gonna be like, why did I do this? Why did I do this? I bought the Kool-Aid. It was just like you have to pick Cincinnati in the top 4 because they're Cincinnati, but like this is not the same Cincinnati. Like if they're action, like I like Geedy. I do like Samuel Geedy a lot. If Noonan is if Noonan actually believes he's better than Nwobodo, pack his bags right now. Like
we'll see though. We'll see.
That's not an overreaction. Oh my god. I screwed this one up, guys.
It's okay. I look at my New England one and I think that one's gonna bite me. But let's move on to a team we're all pretty sure of is going to be in the top of, I mean, Jeremy said it earlier. When you talk about the West, there's only really 4 teams at the top. Here's the one rounding it out in 5th. So on average, but the biggest detractor from this one is Daniel, who has him in 9th, still a playoff team, to be fair. But take out Daniel's ranking, and this is we all, between the 3 of us, we think that Seattle's the 4th best team in the West, 5th officially, including all the rankings, but it's Seattle, right? Like, I think they're kind of like just written into this, every year, even the year they missed the playoffs, it was a CCC year. So, it's just a team with plenty of depth, plenty of guys that just fit the system. It's very telling that even losing Obed Vargas, they've already got a potential lined up in Snyder Brunel. We could see more KKR, who really did really well throughout all of last season.
Yuck.
Paul Rothrock is back, who consistently outperformed Pedro de la Vega, and I would say Jesus Ferreira, but then Ferreira figured it out towards the end. Last week, Jeremy noted Osase de Rosario. Hard not to see him not having a meteoric rise, and then you got Christian Roldan still in midfield. Albert Rusnak, these guys, it's just talent. It's just they have 4-1 potential. And it's really, the games that really matter are those ones against LAFC, the ones against Vancouver, the ones against, San Diego, of course, as you know, we spoil the rest of our 4, but they're just Seattle. It's that easy sometimes, but do you guys have anything you want to add? Jeremy, I know you love talking about this team.
We have to use a real world example to talk about this team, about the way people from Seattle are. There was a tweet that went viral today on the Elon app, and it's someone saying that the average Portlander says, "Wow, Seattle is so pretty. I love my sister city to the north." Keep in mind, that's what the Portlander says, and this is written from the Seattle person perspective. The average Seattleite says, and I quote, "I fucking hate Portland. It's a shithole. Fuck them Seattle rules." As you can tell, the Seattle person assumes that everyone loves them because they are from Seattle, and that the Seattle people carry a ton of hate for Portland, as they should. However, that is not how it actually goes. The average Seattleite, as a matter of fact, says, "Time to go pick up my wife from my boyfriend's apartment," and then promptly merges without looking while getting on the freeway. That is the average Seattleite. And the average Portlander says, and I quote, "You can shove the Space Needle up your ass." Now, here's why this is
going
very
in
important.
so many different ways.
No, this is why this is very important. Because it's very easy to assume that Seattle is so great because everyone from Seattle thinks it's so great. They're really going to miss Obed Vargas. They are. I am not 100% sure that Schmetzer is going to keep picking the correct attackers each week. And they have no left back. aside from Nuhu. And Nuhu is good to miss a few games a year through injury, suspension, general tomfoolery, hijinks,
flipping off fans.
So
I love Nuhu.
fourth is like the lowest I can put this team. I would love to hear what Daniel has to say in regards to why they're in ninth, because he basically swapped where I thought that where everyone picked the Timbers and where everyone picked the Sounders. Did he potentially get confused by the crests a little bit? I don't know. Like I really, really need to hear him defend this more than anything, because if he is on a different level of hater than I am, someone who cannot stand anything going well in the city to my north, contrary to what Seattle believes that everyone believes about them, where they're just the greatest city in the world and everyone has to love them. It's never been like that. It never has. So I have to hear Daniel justify this. But at the same time, like, they're one of the four best in the West, and they will not finish anywhere outside of the top four. There is not a team that can rise into the top four. Like, I know we all didn't think Vancouver could do it, but I don't see a team that can, like, Vancouver their way up to the top this year. Or San Diego their way up to the top. Minnesota is on the down because of how many players they lost, even though I still think they'll be a proper playoff team. That's it. Seattle is going to hang on to fourth just by the virtue of being the Seattle Sounders, and it makes me sick, I tell you. It makes me disgusted. I wish I could do what Juanners did and throw them in 15th and actually have a reason to do it, but I can't.
What? You were calling Pablo Macaroni, dude.
I mean, but here's the thing with Pablo My Little Pony and the strength of that squad, you can make a case that, yeah, they could finish that low if a lot of things go wrong. If a lot of things go wrong for Seattle, then they finish in ninth. There's no way they can finish all the way on the bottom.
Bro, you don't even have Salt Lake in the playoffs. 11-15.
No, I know, but that's the thing. That's the thing. Like, there is still a realistic scenario for them to finish 15th, and I would love to be able to put them down there and be able to justify it like you did with RSL, but I can't. Yeah, I can't justify putting Seattle anywhere outside of the top four, because even if everything goes wrong, and a lot of things went wrong for them last year, they finished fifth and got a fucking Leagues Cup out of it. How do they do it? How the fuck do they keep getting away with it? It's disgusting.
Oh man, let's move on, fellas, because we have one more team in fifth. As low as I am on Cincy, I am still very high on this next team, Chicago Fire. I have them at 3, so I essentially said, because top 3 in the East look like it's going to be, spoiler alert, Miami, and then Nashville, and now one of, what we believe to be Cincy or Chicago. I'm very much sold on Chicago, but I'll throw it to you guys. I'll throw it to Joss. What are you seeing in Chicago? Because 5 is still pretty respectable.
What am I seeing in Chicago is a raised floor, and I think a sense of optimism has shed its light upon our beautiful bald Greg Berhalter's head. And I think that the vibes are getting pretty good out in Chicago. Philip Zinkernagel is still there. Jonathan Bamba, now that it's his second year in the league, I'm hoping to see more from him. Although he did get 5 goals, 10 assists last year. And I think that the loss of Brian Gutierrez isn't going to be nearly as monumental as some people might think. Chicago's problem last year is that they couldn't go toe-to-toe with the bigger and better teams. And I think that this year they're kind of facing a similar issue, but I could see them sneaking points off of these teams because they've gotten steadily worse. I could see them getting points off of like your teams like Miami. I could see them getting points off of Nashville. Teams like Cincinnati, I could definitely see them getting points off of. Philadelphia is another one. So with that, I think Chicago is not running into the same issues as they did last year, which made them get that wild card spot because the teams that they kept losing to have gotten worse. Maybe not Miami, but like Cincinnati, Nashville, Philadelphia, I think are all worse than they were last year. Maybe not
Nashville.
maybe not Nashville, but specifically, Cincinnati and Philadelphia are worse than they were last year. And with that, I think that Chicago will continue to beat the bad teams and now be able to take points off of the better teams.
Regardless of how it shakes out, Chicago's in our top 4 in the East. Is that a valid assumption amongst the OTB standings here?
Based on my revised Cincinnati opinion, yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like them, Cincinnati, shooting around for that final 4th spot.
Cincinnati is taking a Chicago they're probably going to be relying on Chicago Fire cast off at some point this year. They're going to need Tom Barlow to score goals, which if we remember from last year, I wonder what that WhatsApp group chat is going to look like. Meanwhile in Chicago, their WhatsApp group chat is I need duels Jay Davila. Oh, it's terrible. Jesus
We'll work on that. We'll
Christ.
work on that. We'll work on that.
We'll work on it.
It's going to be Chris Brady. It's going to be Chris Brady getting the WhatsApp.
We need saves, Brady.
Kill yourself.
Golly.
Who's sending the kill yourself?
Who's sending kill yourself? It's going to be
Robert Lewandowski. Robert
Jack
Lewandowski
Elliott.
when he
Jack
joins.
Elliott.
Jack Elliott, Robert Lewandowski. Oh my
It's
God.
it's actually just the entire NBC show.
There's Jonathan Baba sending it in French.
Man.
Yeah, I mean that's the I mean technically since I did revise my Cincinnati opinion, technically Chicago's top 4, but then again, last weekend I saw Chris Brady just spill a header hit directly at him into the back of his own net.
That's part of it.
No, it is. It's part of the Chris Brady experience, but I could make a Chicago Shield case if they added, let's say, I mean, definitely if they got a top 5 goalkeeper in the league, I'd say this could be a Shield team. But as of right now, the way they're built, they're absolutely a playoff team. They're going to be one of the best teams in the East. The question is, how high can they rise?
Anything else to add there, Joss, or do you want to go towards our next team?
Why the fuck did Kellen Acosta go to Poland?
Hey, man, he's been wanting to go to Europe, dude.
He took the walk to Poland, bro. I'm so shocked.
And the team's better for it, low key.
Dude, he went to Poznan too. That's a. Oh wait, no, not that Pop. He went to
Pogod
Poland.
Szczecin?
Yeah.
Let him cook,
Didn't
bro.
even look that
Let
one
him
up.
have a time in Poland.
Ain't that the former goalkeeper for Arsenal? Ain't that the former Juventus goalkeeper, current Barcelona goalkeeper? Chesney.
This guy.
Next up.
Next up is Vancouver.
Oh, he went to talk to Lewandowski. That's why he's there. Okay, anyway.
Come on. Now you're connecting it. Our next team is Vancouver, though, our third place team in the West. We don't have a third place team in the East because there's it's between Chicago and Cincinnati, but yeah, Vancouver guys, I have them at first in the West. I know even everything going on with their current stadium situation and ownership situation. I think that helps them rally a little bit, but I see the light, man. I've seen what Jesper Sorensen can do with Ralph Priso at center back, and I want more. I simply just want more. Laborda is a machine underneath Jesper Sorensen. And I know they lost quite a bit of talent. I mean, you're relying on Ryan Gold again. What does that kind of availability look like? But I mean, beyond that, I mean, Bruno Caicedo, kind of an interesting pickup there. Oliver Larraz gives you a good midfield option if in between midweeks. Cheek Sabali could be kind of that Ali Ahmed sneaky pick from FC Metz. Aziel Jackson getting another, Aziel Jackson has gone from like St. Louis to Columbus, and now he's going to Sorensen. If Sorensen can get Aziel Jackson to cook, dude, after coming back from Poland, we just talked about one Polish midfielder leaving. We got a midfielder from Poland coming back, and Aziel and AZ Jackson, guys. Let Sorensen cook, guys. That's what I'm saying. But lowest one we got is Joss, just fourth there. Not a bad finishing spot there, but you guys, anything to add on Vancouver there? Are we anything that should make your eye raise or anything? Like, I know losing Jodrek Poupe was massive loss, but
Poupe.
Yeah. No poop, no party, as I say. But they're high floor. They're high ceiling. They hung with Miami in that MLS Cup until they just couldn't hang no more. Sure. Do I think they reached the same heights as last year, losing in 2 finals? I don't know. But they're obviously one of the best teams in the West. And this is a huge year for Sorensen. I don't think they're going to win the West, but they're still going to be incredibly competitive. And who knows? I could foresee another deep CCC run as well.
Come on, dude. That's what I'm talking about.
Can I give my take?
Yeah.
I'm afraid that I think Sorensen will leave the job before the end of the year.
To Celtic? No, please don't stay.
I think he'll take the Danish national team job. I think he'll probably be he's definitely in line for it, I think. And with the World Cup cycle coming to an end this summer, I think that Vancouver will probably have him till the end of the season. But I don't think he will be here beyond then. I think he'll probably take the Danish national team job.
No.
I'm not basing that off anything. I'm basing that purely off vibes. Pure vibes.
I mean, the vibes are pretty low in Vancouver.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Unfortunately, yeah. Like, I think it might be they underperform because it's really hard to perform as well. I mean, I think that they'll still be very good. I have them in 4th, which isn't bad at all. I just think that with Jaden Nelson leaving, Ali Ahmed leaving, like those are 2 massive guys that are hard to replace. I don't think like Emmanuel Sabi's like nailed. I think he's been better as an impact sub, but right now he's their right center attacking mid, however you want to say it. Mm-hmm. Obviously a full year of Thomas Muller. That'll be fun. That'll be exciting. I'd be curious to see how healthy he can stay just in his brittle age, but he's never had like injury problems. He's not had like major injury problems in the past. Ryan Gauld, like you mentioned, it remains to be seen what they can get out of him. Brian White. Is Brian White. Big fan of Brian White. That's all I have to say there. And Sebastian Berhalter is probably the hottest midfielder in MLS, both in terms of what's on the field and also looks. Bro, that guy is cute. That's all I gotta say.
You got a crush over here, dude.
Dude, he's got a worried SKC.
I will say I am slightly worried about if something happens to Kubas, if Kubas gets hurt.
Oliver Larraz. I can't even get it that fast out. Oliver Larraz, dude.
Thank you for reminding me that Oliver Larraz is on this team.
That's all I will say.
Olivier Larraz. Because I respect him.
All right, fellas, let's stay in the West because we may as well finish it out with our number 2 teams. 2 teams with number 2, to be fair. The lowest any one of us have San Diego finishing is me with 3, and then the lowest anyone has LAFC finishing is 2. LAFC and San Diego, we'll pair them up together because, I mean, right now LAFC is just dog walking Real España. It's 4-0, and it's not even the 40th minute yet, fellas.
Oh God.
Before that, though, San Diego put the pummeling on Pumas. I had never seen an MLS team just completely work over a Liga MX team quite like San Diego did against Pumas. Fellas, it's safe to say these two teams are towards the top end. Vancouver just missed out. Thanks, Joss. Weighed that one out there. But what are we seeing in San Diego and LAFC? I'll let either one of you take whichever one you want to speak on. I know I have a lot to say on San Diego, but I'll open it up to you guys.
Then I'll start with LAFC. 2 words: Son Heung-min, Denny Buwanga, must see TV. So
that's 7 words. That's still 7 words.
What?
I was counting them, and I was like, "That's a little bit more than 2."
But
Good reference. Good reference, Jeremy.
Yeah. Eustaquio is a really good signing at the base of the midfield. They have good defenders, and you know what? They're going to get better when Aaron Long and Igor Jesus come back from injury. They're going to have a DP slot open in the summer. Their biggest question is whether or not Buwanga is going to get too tempted by Brazilian offers and such. I don't know, man. Even if they sell Buwanga, which they'll only sell at the right time if they have the right replacement anyway lined up. You just know they're going to still get a good replacement. It doesn't have to be like a superstar name like a Griezmann or I don't know. My ultimate LAFC chaos pick. You want me to tell you who LAFC should really sign if they want to get nuts with it?
Yeah.
Give me Darwin Nunez.
Good take. Great take. Yeah, good take.
So, which once again, that means you just move Son to the left and you have Darwin Nunez and just starting up top. Sure, fuck it. But LAFC is really smart with that. If they can find a player who might not be the biggest name, but they know is going to make a gigantic impact, they're going to go get him instead. So it doesn't matter. Nothing matters with LAFC. They'll just reload. They have the highest floor out of any team in the West. And by the way, they're up 4-0. 2 of those goals were penalty kicks. So are
5-0.
they really as good as? Oh God! Wait, no.
They just scored another one. I said,
No.
right, yeah. Are they really that good? Yeah, they just scored another one. Dude.
Tillman's getting goals now. Oh my God! You know what? I'd like to take this opportunity to congratulate the LAFC Academy for getting an entire 11 fielded for leg number 2 of this game, of this Champions Cup tie.
They all get little Champions
Congratulations
Cup, medals. But Josh, what about San Diego, man? You get to hype up this team now.
San Diego. Well, firstly,
is he doing it?
Don't give me San Diego, bro. I don't want to talk about them. They were so excited, and they've only known joy in this league, and that's not what it's about.
Yes.
Okay, you are supposed to suffer endlessly, and then you be good. Okay, Cincinnati did it right. Nashville, I mean, they were okay, but they did it right. Miami,
Minnesota
did it right. Minnesota did it right. San Diego have not done it right, and it kills me to put them this high in my ranking because they need to have a sort of come back down to earth moment, a la St. Louis in the second season. But what is there to say about San Diego? They are, I mean, if you want to talk about running a team, they are doing it right. They are doing it right, unfortunately. They're
hypothetical Montreal.
They're hypothetical. They are. Yeah, that's actually a really, really good way to put it, because I think that it's so fascinating how good this team is, especially based on what I thought about them last year going into the season. They had a lot of unknowns. There was a lot going on, a lot of new guys. And for me, it wasn't clicking. but San Diego, they brought Anders Dreyer in. I mean, the guy is kind of unlucky to not have won MVP. If we're being honest, like he's just unfortunate to be playing at the same time as Lionel Messi in this league. But as soon as they run out of goat blood or whatever they're putting into his body down there in Fort Lauderdale, I think that Dreyer
blood transfusion, yes.
Yes. I think that Dreyer will be far and away one of the leading MVP candidates for the foreseeable future. He will be the face. He will be a face of the league, if he's not already. I guess more so a face of the league. But it's what I'm interested in is like how will Chucky Lozano's situation really impact the team over the course of before the World Cup. Chucky Lozano, massive star player, like he was the guy. He was supposed to be what Anders Dreyer ended up being for San Diego. And so if there's a massive rift that is cutting through the locker room, is Mikey Vera's experienced enough to know how to deal with that? We will have to see. It remains to be seen. When Chucky Lozano ends up in, I don't know where. I mean, what's the funniest place for him to end up?
Colorado Rapids.
Rapids.
Funniest, though, that's where he is going to end up.
Where is it?
That's where he's going to end up. He's going to end up in Colorado somehow. I know it. I know it. It's going to be
Please.
funniest place is SKC. If we're being 100% honest, yeah.
Completely agree.
We're in the Lozano lottery right now, dude. Whoever draws the shortest stick gets fucking Lozano, dude.
That's fucking true, dude. So with San Diego, they haven't done a lot to change their team very much this year, and I don't think they need to. They did a lot of their great business last year or in the summer. I mean, bringing in like Amal Pellegrino, by the way, like just a really shrewd pickup. And that's what they're all about. Are these shrewd pickups, and I think that they'll continue to just be good. Now watch them finish 9th.
Hey, that's still pretty good considering that's not out of the playoffs.
That's true.
So
I wish I could finish 9th.
Let's finish out, fellas, with I mean that's the West, right? It's between LA, San Diego, Seattle, and Vancouver. Yep. Over in the East, there is a new number 2 in town. Their names are Nashville SC. It feels as though Nashville and Miami are truly a rivalry that could actually manifest itself because they've just seen each other so many times. We go back to that Leagues Cup, the first ever really messy ascent for Miami there. But Nashville, man, picking up Christian Espinoza. It's on paper, it's a great move. Is there any doubts about this move? Because I mean, it sure doesn't seem like any of us have them. I would say maybe Josh, but even still, 3 is very respectable for Nashville there. But yeah, Jeremy, tell us about Nashville, man.
They are going to finish first place in the East.
Yeah, that's crazy.
I'm the only one here who did not pick Miami to finish first. I picked Miami second because last year that worked out so well for me. I avoided the majority of the Atlanta embarrassment. But Miami is not Atlanta from last year. Nashville is not Cincinnati from last year. Nashville is a stupid good team that I think could do with a little bit more depth if we're being honest. But the top of this roster, like, can you find 3 DPs that are better than Suraj Mukhtar Espinoza? I don't think I can.
Messi.
No, I don't think. Though not as good. Nope. Bzz, wrong. Like in terms of MLS proven, like, because keep in mind DePaul was like largely mid last year, and then he scores a goal in the cup final, and everyone's like, "Oh my God, Rodrigo DePaul, he's arrived." He's literally there to be Messi's bodyguard on the field because Messi's bodyguard cannot actually be on the field. So, and that's where the DP spot for Miami. However, this is the year of Nashville. BJ Callahan won a trophy year 1. He's gonna win the East year 2. They're just that good. They are. And while I would love to see a little bit more reinforcement on the back line at those fullback spots, Andy Nahar ages like a fine wine. Daniel Lovitz, for whatever reason, is too. Like, what the hell? I think there's a case to be made, like in spot starts in case of emergency, like they can switch to a 4-4-2. You can get Serge and Mukhtar up top. Get what's his name? They also just played tonight. They beat Atletico Ottawa. Warren Madrigal, Ahmed Casa. I'm like, there's depth in their attacking front.
And who scored?
Wubens Passius.
3 goals.
2 more to go.
He said 3 goals this season. He's already got 1.
He's already got 1.
He's not gonna get any more, dude. That's gonna be crazy.
Up the woob. Up the fighting woob. Let's go. Yeah, Nashville's gonna win the East, and I don't think that's too much. That's too far of a stretch, honestly. And I'd like to see like a player who put in a good shift tonight, Matthew Corcoran. I'd like to see a lot of him in the regular season. I think they're just really well stocked at every position. Espinoza's such a huge ceiling raiser for them.
Joss, you got the man behind you.
Ooh.
You got Lionel Messi.
Oh, shit. I knew he was there. I knew he was there, guys. We're chill like that. You want me to talk Inter Miami?
Yeah, I mean, like Jeremy said, we all, between me, you, and Daniel, we all have him at first, right?
Yeah.
I think it's, bold of Jeremy to pick Nashville at first, but I mean, there's obvious. I mean, I think it's Messi League soccer, right?
You look. In defense of Jeremy's take, I think Miami will be focusing on the CONCACAF Champions League this year. Right. I think that is their cup that they want. That is their final mountain to conquer with this Messi project. And any sort of shortcoming, any sort of failure to do so, to win the CONCACAF Champions League should be seen as an abject failure by this
utterly hilarious.
And utterly hilarious. I will be rooting for the utterly hilarious outcome. Mm-hmm. I want to be very clear. Why is that? Well, they went out and signed Bertarame from Monterrey. They went out and got Reguilon, who had last played at Tottenham Hotspur. They went out and they got they brought back Allende. They went out and they brought in Ayala. They got Mikael. They got Dane St. Clair. All of these massive signings.
Without Messi,
without Messi
out, and now you put Messi in. It's unfair. It's career
and
mode.
Rodrigo de Paul and they are, and it's like, okay, well, I guess nothing means anything anymore, but that's fine. So for that reason, all of those signings and everything that Miami did last year, I think their only shortcoming, and I'm going to say it again, has Javier Mascherano been challenged yet? Has he faced a challenge in his career as a coach? Has he? I mean, what happens if the locker room starts falling apart? Huh?
It hasn't so far, though. That's what's crazy.
I know. It hasn't, but you get a lot of massive guys, like a lot of guys in there who all have their varying ideas about what they want to get out of their time in Miami, what they want to get out of their career. You have guys at the end of their career like Messi. You have guys who are trying to restart something like Reguilon. You have young guys. I'm just interested. It's almost like a house of cards. It's like almost I wonder if there's one wrong move and it all goes kaput. But with that all being said, I'm really just being nitpicky here. I think this Miami team is probably the best team we've ever seen assembled in MLS.
On paper.
On paper.
On paper is the caveat.
Now, you know what else is on paper, fellas, is our rankings, and here they are.
Oh shit.
Yep. So just to round it all out, New England, DC, Sporting, Montreal, 15th through 13th. Outside the wild card is the Red Bulls, Toronto, Dallas, Atlanta, St. Louis, RSL, Quakes, and Rapids. In a wild card spot are the Texan teams there, Houston and Austin, and then in the East, Orlando and Philly. 8 to 5. Kind of in the East, it's a different kind of beast. In the West, it's better than the rest. Charlotte, Columbus, New York, and then Minnesota, Portland, and LA. And then top 4 in each conferences are Miami, Nashville, Chicago, Cincinnati, and then Seattle, Vancouver, San Diego, LA. Fellas, I am very thrilled with this one. I think we cooked between all 4 of us. I think we cooked. We all contributed our weighings between the 4 of us, and if this ain't the script, I don't know what is, fellas. Honestly, I think we scripted a perfect league this year. It's sports entertainment nowadays, guys. You can go ahead and put this into your Polymarket bets or whatever the fuck you do, or whatever you do in Polymarket. I got rid of Joss again. My bad, Joss. I meant to get rid of the rankings there, but one final quick note through. We're gonna go rapid fire here. Shield winner for Jeremy is
LAFC.
And for Joss, unless we lost Joss. Oh, we lost Joss. Joss is Miami's.
Yeah.
I have Vancouver. Still believe in the Sorensen hype. U.S. Open Cup for Jeremy is
the Chicago Fire. If this is their trophy this year, they have to win the Open Cup.
See, I thought you were about to say DC United. I thought that's what you were going with that one. Joss has FC Cincinnati as the U.S. Open Cup. Since we lost,
Wait a minute. Are they in Open Cup this year? 26 U.S.
Oh man,
I don't think they're in Open Cup.
They can't even win an Open Cup.
They can't. They are not in Open. Oh no, Cincinnati, no. Remember, Evander came there to win trophies. Keep that in mind.
How many?
Yeah, so this is 0. But I'm not counting. I literally can't because he hasn't had one to count.
Oof.
Yeah, so the teams in Open Cup this year: Atlanta, Austin, Charlotte, Chicago, PIDS, Columbus, DC, Houston, Minnesota, New England, NYCFC, which is bullshit. Orlando, Red Bull. Ugh. New York Red Bulls. San Jose, St. Louis, SKC. Cincinnati is not in the Open Cup this year.
You done goofed, Joss.
Oh, Cincinnati aren't in the Open Cup?
They are in the Open Cup.
I forget that
Now
woke
pick
was
SKC.
taken over. I
Now pick
forget,
SKC.
bro.
Yeah.
Okay, read me all those teams again. Okay.
Atlanta.
Low-key SKC
Austin,
might be a fun pick.
Yeah, you could go SK. I went Chicago just because it feels like if they're going to win anything, it's going to be that.
I picked Colorado because it's happening.
Yeah, I'll go.
Yeah,
I'll
I'm
go
good
with
with
SKC. I'm gonna put SKC in there.
Brilliant.
Fair enough.
Another homer pick. Daniel picked Charlotte for USOC. And he picked Miami for Shield winners. Let's move on to MVP. Jeremy's got
Messi.
It says Leo on here. I was like, Leo Campana. Joss.
I think I gotta make sure. Hani Mukhtar.
I got Thomas Muller on this one. And another Nashville player, Daniel, coming in with Espinoza. I
like that pick.
That would be something, man. Espinoza leaves SJ and wins an MVP. That is insane. But we still got some more Nashville love to give. Coach of the year, Jeremy.
BJ Callahan, because if Nashville finished first in the East, he will win Coach of the Year. There's probably going to be a coach that I would vote for differently, but keep in mind, last year, Bradley Carnell won this award. It's nonsense.
What about you, Joss? You got?
I have Dean Smith. Dino.
Uh-huh.
I think he's gonna have Charlotte playing some outstanding stuff, and I think just based on I think that they have a deeper run in the cup competitions than they did last year. So I think based on all that, I think he's my coach of the year.
My coach of the year is Jesper Sorensen. He will not be snubbed. He will win it with Ralph Priso in at center back. That is the prop I am bringing. And then we have another coach of the year from Charlotte here, Dean Smith. So in Joss's column, he wrote Dean, and then in Daniel's column, he wrote Smith. So
I love the type of wavelength we're on, bro.
I love that. I honestly love that.
Just the wavelength.
Newcomer of the year, Jeremy.
It's going to be Herman Berterame. And there's newcomer of the year is going to be real weird this year because with such a big World Cup break, like there's also a serious chance that one of the players that comes in after the World Cup wins.
Suey.
Because the majority of games will be played afterwards. So I'm not very confident in this pick, but I have to make one at the start of the year. It's got to be Berterame.
Joss?
I went for James. I think that those 6 games that he shows up for Minnesota, it's gonna be lights out, bro. And even if he doesn't come back, it'll be so much fun. It would have been so much fun that he'll win Newcomer of the Year.
I also have Berterame. No, in reinventing the wheel there. Daniel has Timo Werner, but it's also funny that he has San Jose in 11th.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that. Thank you for doing it.
This might be a Benteke situation where he gets Golden Boot and his team misses the playoffs.
1-5-4. Lost 5-4, but scored all 4 goals.
Yeah, man. Timo Werner. Daniel's got to reevaluate his decision there. Golden Boot, Jeremy.
I spoiled it earlier, but it's got to be Wessam Abu Ali. He's the easiest one to root for, and no matter where he goes, he scores a ton of goals. Wessam Abu Ali, give me a Golden Boot. Yes, sir.
Joss.
I was between Kuipers and my actual pick, but Son Heung-min, lights out. Going to play up top for LAFC. Going to be playing in all the important games for LAFC. And I think he's got more in the tank than Messi does.
I decided to reinvent the wheel here and picked Berterame, guys. Isn't that such a crafty outside the box pick? Definitely not basing it off of the fact
outside the box.
Yeah, outside of it. We're going outside of it. But no, it's just a boring pick here from me, Berterame. I feel like that is what leads him to get Newcomer of the Year. And then Golden Boot for Daniel is Lionel Messi.
Yeah, sure, fine.
Spoon winner.
He wants to be right, so he's. I'll give him that.
Who's winning the spoon, Jeremy?
Sporting Kansas City. It literally brings me no joy to do it. But once again, I want to be right above all else.
That's fair.
Unfortunately, if I want to be right, I have to pick SKC for the spoon. And I'm very sorry to Joss.
You're manifesting spoon content for Off to See the Wizards, bro.
which could go a lot of page views in that.
That's true. The actual spoon winner will be Montreal. They are in a harder conference than Sporting KC. I can see them picking up way less points than we do just because they're playing way harder teams.
My spoon pick is RSL. I'm ready for their Cabral to mess it up for them and for Gozo and Luna to be sold and Macaroni to be cooked. I see. I can only make that joke this late into the podcast.
That was good. That was good.
Um,
For all 14 people still tuning in, that was worth it.
Finally, Daniel doesn't have a spoon pick, but it's your pick between St. Louis or DC. I almost said Seattle, but the STL messed me up. We're gonna give it to STL just to counteract the SKC spoon content coming to.
Okay, yeah.
And so that'll be how we do it, fellas. And that is the outside the box prediction show. Is there any other random predictions you guys want to toss out into the ether before we? No, I mean, all right, pick a cup winner. Who's winning the cup?
Miami.
Okay. Joss.
I wanted to get weird with it. I couldn't.
Vancouver.
I'm gonna pick Toronto. And with that being said, thank you guys for tuning in. It's outside the box.
Sure, okay.
Anything else to add? Any other random predictions?
Daniel picks Charlotte to win the cup too.
Yeah, I had to make sure he had him in a playoff position, but yeah.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, I looked over to my top 8, and Toronto was the first I landed eyes on. Top dartboard, Toronto.
Oh my god!
But yeah, I mean, any other predictions, fellas? Let's wrap this one up. Joss, where can they find you?
Find me on Instagram and TikTok at Off to See the Wizards. We're actually filming with SKC tomorrow. We're going to be a part of their hype video for the home opener. So getting some cool opportunities with that, but still making stuff just we're not corporate sellouts. We're not corporate sellouts.
I like how the it paused you at a crazy time. I don't know if Jeremy sees it as well, but
I've been looking at it. Don't worry, I've been looking at it. It's mesmerizing.
Oh,
it's provided some great.
We love StreamYard. We do. We love StreamYard.
Jeremy, where can they find you, man?
You can find me on the Elon app and Sports Guy Jeremy, where I only say nice things about the people of Seattle. You can find me on Bluesky at jeremypearman.bsky.social. You can read my website, cascadiafc.com, where I just published last week I published a very lengthy season preview for the Portland Timbers that isn't like most season previews. So if you want to relive some of the beautiful moments in 2025 of them giving the ball away in their own half and then getting counterattacked to death and losing, you can read that and be prepared because games are back this weekend. So regular articles are returning, maybe sooner if they can get a couple more deals across the line.
Well said, man. And always a big proponent of Jeremy's work. You can find me at Juanners715 on X, Juanners.bsky.social, at Outside the Box, everywhere else. Or sorry, at Box State Footy, everywhere else. Though we may end up making the TikTok at Outside the Box. Still hasn't been confirmed yet or not. But check out all the clips that we will be making from this podcast and putting up there. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Outside the Box. This has been our prediction show. Plenty to deliberate, plenty to come back to. We'll have this spreadsheet just always. I mean, I might hide it just so you guys don't come back and see too much of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, check out the aggregate finishes that I think between the four of us, we got a good mix in there of different teams, different possible finishes. But that's gonna be it from us here Outside the Box. Thank you for tuning in, and we'll see ya when we see ya. Bye-bye.